I just want to let you guys know we have a bit of an interesting headline on META. Wired here just reporting that apparently in an internal memo, CEO Sam Altman of OpenAI is actually slamming Meta's strategy and also dismissing its recruiting efforts, basically saying that Meta is acting in a way that Sam Altman finds, quote, somewhat distasteful. He just assumes things will get, quote, crazier in the future. So Sam Altman, definitely not a fan of the recruiting efforts of Mark Zuckerberg. Pretty aggressive here, trying to get AI talent. In case you missed it, we have Mark Zuckerberg poaching AI talent from a variety of companies, including OpenAI. So just keep an eye here in META. Sam Altman of OpenAI apparently expressing some concern in an internal memo to OpenAI employees. Back to you.
I want to get one of those. What's up, everybody? I want to get one of those like sort of bumpers for the afternoon show.
I'll be out of your way.
You know,
like what?
Like how they have one for the midday show.
Oh yeah. Like the intro.
Yeah,
that would be
just
cool.
flips over.
Oh,
to
that's
us.
so awesome. That's so
it's
awesome.
So like uninspiring.
You gotta have that.
Zip it over there. Jojo's like, nah. This guy wants everything for himself. And he was getting heated about not showing up the percentages there as well over lunchtime. That was too funny.
Percentages on the update? Is there?
I want to get you next time we do one of those picks. We're gonna add Obi in there. So you pick.
Well, I don't think you guys are ready for that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we're more than ready.
Like I'm observing. I'm watching how your guys' picks have gone. I don't think. Let me just say, you guys are not ready for my picks.
I'm at 49% in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's not as good as what you're up to. You're up to. You would have picked. You would have picked Bitcoin, and that's down. I think since we started that.
I mean, hey man, listen.
We should do a second half one. Is what I'm.
Like Joe, why didn't you put Robinhood on there? Robinhood is up over 100%. Yeah.
Bro, you can't have.
There have been.
Oh, but you're dealing in the past, my guy. You're dealing in the past. I want to. Okay, so give me a pick now for the second half. Let's go, Obi.
No, man.
You don't know.
No, let me run my scans. I don't know. It's half the year has gone pretty well.
But right now we're running our mouth. I want to know the plays. That's
what I'm saying. I don't want to say anything unless I run something.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I don't want putting you on the spot right now, but you have a play that can be up more than 50% in 6 months. I think nuclear could be one. We just talked about right now getting some more nuclear deals. We say GE Vernova was a great pick by Neil. He had that one. That was absolute. Look at GE Vernova. Today down though, and I heard the midday show talking about this symbol, or maybe it was a dare. I heard either way, on the midday there, GEV, down 6% today on some kind of a story, but that's a great level coming into 5 bills. I mean, we sort of barcoded here for a while. I really like this, but look at the hot fire this stock's been. Talk about some names that, looking to get into some names since the tariff there, that bottom 260 or so, that's a double right there to 520, almost right on the knot right there. So nice 528 all the way from 260. That's been a huge winner this year, man. GE Vernova. I mean, I guess if you got it up here, it's not, but if you got it somewhere down there, GE Vernova, nice play. And then Palantir, man, me and Obi and I were sitting here, and I was just short the Nasdaq right here. We actually made some money on it before it wound up going to the top and stopping us out. And I was going to choose shorting Palantir at VWAP or shorting the market at VWAP. And Obi and I were both sitting here. Obi mentioned Netflix. You were looking at some of that. We can talk about that in a couple minutes. But there was Palantir, the same opportunity. We'd still be $1 or so in the money. I mean, we would have cashed out on the way down, that's for sure. But still holding some of that. So let's wait to see. The weak names continue weak despite the market taking out VWAP. Palantir still underneath. And then Apple had a little topsy-turvy day as well there. We tried to go short there. We went long and then we went short. No, we never went short. What am I talking about? We just went long and got stopped out on the 210 break back below. So yeah, we haven't done anything really in the midday since we've been back. We're chilling out here, having some good times. Went for some walks. We're right beside Queen's Park. Yeah. And you heard the cannons going off there for Canada today.
Yeah, they were firing some cannons there.
They're loud, man.
They're really loud. I mean, I was sitting in the back, and I just heard like boom, boom, and I was like, maybe that's because sometimes when the garbage bins come and they get slammed, it makes a really loud noise. I was like, okay, maybe that's what that is, maybe once or twice, but it kept on going like 5-6 times. I'm like, I gotta check this out, and I remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Canada Day. There's celebrations going on. The park was full of people, and yeah, there's some good demonstrations happening. So
yeah, a lot of fun times. We're gonna try to go to some fireworks tonight, so we're gonna see I think it was 10:15 or 10:30 or so. So I was okay. We'll see if we get some spots.
Where are you guys going?
We packed up. Well, there's Centennial Park in Etobicoke that's having fireworks. Yeah, I'll probably do that. But also they have Rib Fest. So yeah, we got to figure out maybe we're doing something like that for. I don't know. The kids are always out and about, man. It's like I have no idea. Like yesterday, my daughter's there. She comes home. She had. They went to Wonderland yesterday. And when she came home, it was like 7:30 or something. She's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go out, ride my bike with my friend, blah blah blah." So she goes out, rides her bike with her friend. Then she comes back in and says, "Oh, we want to dye our hair pink or something." We had just this little dye. They just dye that. It's nothing. It's not really. It's like washable stuff. Okay, we're going to her house. Okay. You know, I look down at my watch. It's like 9:45. I'm like, "Where is she? Not home yet." You know, 10 years old. Oh, she's still at her friend's house. Okay, well, let's take the dog, go for a walk, go get her, things like that. So it was like, you know, summertime.
Yeah.
You know, summertime feels. You're not really on a schedule. Now that they're out of school, I have zero, like, I feel like my wife probably has control, but like zero control of time now.
Yeah.
Because before it's like, okay, you got to be back in. It's 9:30 or whatever. I mean, depending on how dark it is outside and what they're doing, of course. But it's like you got school tomorrow. They know that they need to be in bed by a certain time or be ready. But now it's like free for all. So, you know, what are you going to do? So,
when I was 10 to 12 years old, I think I was probably on my computer late.
Yeah. Well, my son is that.
Just like gaming.
Yeah.
We
watched
play some games online with some friends, or probably till like 2, 3 a.m.
That's what he's doing.
And then my parents would come into my room and be like, "Why are you still up?"
Why are your parents still up at 2 a.m.?
Because they probably heard me.
Oh, they heard you.
They probably heard me. You know,
that's my
loud.
problem. Is like we say goodnight to our, you know, my 13-year-old, and he's always on his PC, right? And it's like not always, but and I was like, turn it off. You know, it's like midnight, and he does pretty good with that. But yeah,
I would go to bed and then I would sneak.
Yeah, of course you would, Obi. I mean, that's perfect. I'm sure that's
spoofy man.
I'm sure exactly. I'm sure you're the original spoofy man. Spoof your parents. Put your pillows like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You seen that?
Yeah.
Great movie there. Put the pillows in there. Get all ready to go. All right, Sharif's at the screen. This is where we go over the rundown, all the names that potentially you guys want us to look at. We'll talk about some technicals, see if we traded or not, what our opinion is moving forward on the day. Let's go over to the rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we're going to talk about every afternoon. The boys are locked and they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there, join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Super easy to vote now, guys. Just that $sign and then throw in your 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Automatically registers. Let's look at all 4 major averages. There's only one of these 4 that's actually negative on the day, and it's decidedly negative. It's the NQ down 0.6% with the Mag 7. All red except for Apple. And then we have the IWM, the Russell 2000, up nicely here, leading the pack, up 1.6. The ES, kind of flat, but still green, up 0.11. And then last but not least, the Dow Jones, getting a nice move up today to the tune of 1%. Good look for the Dow. Robinhood, the first name as decided by you guys, and what a move it was yesterday. Sold off a little bit today, was barely in negative territory on the back of this headline yesterday, that there are, during the keynote, Vlad Tenev launched what stock tokens for companies trading on both the public and private markets that will be in Europe. Guys are looking to tokenize some of these securities.
I think the cool part is the private companies. I think that's pretty
new.
That's pretty unique, because that's going to give you kind of like, I don't know, inside, you know, the ability, like we don't have any ability to access private companies, you know, like founder shares or anything like that. So that's interesting. So I'm interested to hear how that goes. Like, is there going to be like a SpaceX token there where maybe somebody that's already invested in SpaceX can lend out their shares at a certain price, and if you buy them, I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe SpaceX is too big. Maybe it's lesser known private companies, maybe. But that's interesting. Look, I mean, the fact that it's being rolled out to the EU users, great. I mean, as soon as it hits the US, I think it's going to be obviously a bigger story for these markets. But yeah, not a great day for Robinhood. You know, we had looked at this stock early, and I just think, you know, you saw Palantir today get whapped to the downside as well, and now Palantir's down 5%, Robinhood's flat. But yeah, holding key level 90, right? I mean, you have a $10 range here. That's a 10% move today for Robinhood intraday. We got as high as $99 and we got as low as 90. So that's 10% right there, moving back and forth. You know, I feel like when you get a move like that, VWAP to me right here makes sense. I think this is worth a short here on Robinhood into the end of the day. The problem is you don't want to hold on for that for very long. If Robinhood gets going, it will just absolutely run you over. And we do know that I thought there was about a 12% short float or so in Robinhood. Let's double check this right here. Go over here. Go over and type in hood. I don't do this too often for any stocks unless we're sort of talking about them right now or as they show up. Yeah, it's only 4% right there for a short float. So kind of a nothing burger short float situation there. But I like that short against VWAP for right now. Maybe stop out on do you really want to hold it to 95? I don't know. Maybe stop out in and around here, 94.70, something like that. But I think, yeah, 94.20, 94.25, right where we are. I like the short. So again, yesterday's move was huge. That's when we had that sort of conference. It was up 12%, or I don't know if it's a conference or an investor day type of thing there, crypto day. But nice move up 11%, flat today. So for me, that's a win. You know, when you have a kind of a move like that, generally you'll have a kind of a pullback. You can see an Apple pulling back from that 210 area. So yeah, I think this is a good short around 94.25 or so here for Robinhood. So yeah, that's a trade that I like. And then the other name, we don't have it on there, but SoFi was also a real good one. Yesterday, we got out of a little bit of this one, 18.5 or so down today. So you can see, again, 1850 high, down 1750 low. So, you know, we've had a nice top to bottom move in some of these names, but I would prefer I prefer Robinhood as an investment rather than SoFi. But for me, for the trade today, let's look at Robinhood right now. The only issue with it going short is it's up, market's down. So I don't love that relationship.
Yeah, I think I was looking for the continuation on hood off of the open today, and we did get a little bit of a bounce. We had everything we were looking for the most part. You saw that pre-market level hold. We broke up aggressively. The pullback holding higher, reclaim the VWAP, breakout of the opening range high. I guess increasing relative volume as well. It was looking pretty good, and then all of a sudden 99 failure to follow through. Can't even get to 100. And then sellers kind of step in. So I didn't really get involved in it today, but I was definitely watching it as it was one of the top ideas on the list for continuation. And I was like, oh boy, I kind of missed this this kind of dip into here and push. But guess what? Wasn't really around to really see this failure to follow through. And it seems like, again, sellers kind of stepping right in. Interestingly enough, kind of reverting all the way back to VWAP. So the question becomes, yeah, I think that let's see if we can kind of, what we do, can we hold resistance where that morning support was, opening range low support, and also pre-market low support is where we're kind of testing as of right now. So does that support turn into resistance? Let's wait and see. But that hood off the morning was a little bit of a shake and bake.
List here, TSLA down decidedly today on the back of the renewed belligerencies between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. More on that later. And there's this also, Tesla. There's some of their European registrations down, as well as the expected Q2 deliveries, supposed to be somewhere between 385 to 395,000, well below BYD's, guys, almost doubling them up this time.
What you got first on Tesla? I know you were looking at that earlier.
I was definitely looking at Tesla. So I think the thing is with Tesla was I was looking for that continuation off the open, and I saw it flush the way that it did, and I wasn't really that convinced. And again, that 300 area, that 300 level was a little interesting to me. And funny enough, somebody on the midday show was like, "Oh, 300 puts, you know, I'm in the money." Definitely, there was a level of interest there at that 300. And when I saw the price action coming in, I was like, "All right, I definitely want to try to take inventory back through 300." So we can pull it up here and see what that's been up to. Gotta put it in. That one. Okay, so let me go pull up Tesla right here from the morning and just kind of recap what happened right there. So yeah, I did get involved a little bit earlier, but you can see that we do eventually hold a bid and we get that aggressive push back through 300 all the way to 305s and then a little bit of a wash that 300, which I think that's kind of what I was maybe looking for. Once I did see what happened off of the open, I was like, all right, looks like we might wash that 400 or that 300. And I guess since then, we've only been doing that sideways consolidation around VWAP on Tesla.
Yeah, I'd say short for the rest of the day, only because, well, I mean, the market's gonna have to do something, but you know, the negativity in Tesla, I don't see too much positivity here as we wait for deliveries. Like I heard Adara and Sharif going with 390, 380, something like that on the deliveries. So, you know, I think everyone will wait for that number, and we could see a sideways trade the rest of the day. I don't think there's enough action to get this thing to break through the high of the day. I was gonna say, like, when we were done this, I was just gonna say, it's Canada Day here, fine, I get it, but it's also Tuesday. There's, you know, I don't know, you guys tell me. I feel like if I was in the United States and we had Thursday, Friday kind of off with July 4th, and then of course July 3rd, the market's closing at 1:30 on Thursday. I feel like it could be a little bit of a slow ride here into the rest of the afternoon, and maybe just actionable trades when they show up, if anything does manage to kind of rock the market. We had said earlier on that this wasn't a horrible spot right down into here, right? 295 or so for a possible area of resistance or support in this situation. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, we got to 294 change. So I think that this could also be a long. If we come back into 295, that's probably a long, but it wouldn't surprise me if we don't do a heck of a lot here on TSLA. I heard you guys talking also about BYD and all the sort of the competition that's around right now. We do have Brian Shannon on. Adara's made a note to me that Brian was talking about General Motors as a possible breakout play. So we'll talk to him tonight on the recap show. Join Adara, myself, and Brian Shannon as we'll be going over everything. But Rivian's been a POS as well. Like, this thing is just straight to the downside. Like, if you didn't cover some of your trade up here, it's been up here a couple times now, right? Like, we got up here right here. That was extension into 19, but there's 17 again, there's 17 again. Now you fall back into 13 and change. If this whole Build America and everything and the tariffs, and we're gonna wait to see what happens on July 8th or 9th, but Rivians are being made in Georgia, right? So US should be good. Good name there, but they're pretty expensive still, these Rivians. And when I was in the bank the other day, and I don't know, there was a lady dealing with me there. I would say that she was like mid-30s, seemed pretty. We were talking about, I think, cars or recent purchases or something, and I told them that I picked up the Model 3 and blah, blah, blah. And obviously she knew about Tesla, and I said, oh yeah. And then she said something about, I don't know, what does my wife drive, but do we have another car or something? And it was, I said, yeah, she's looking to get a Rivian. And she looked at me like I was speaking German or something, like had no idea what a Rivian was.
Right.
So I was like, I think that eventually will come through. We obviously here as traders, and I see them on the road a lot, but I think as that gets a little bit more traction, I think Rivian is a stock that we'd want to look at, especially if they can get a little bit of a cheaper model coming through. So yeah, I like Tesla, but the thing about Tesla is their future revenue streams are obviously, there's going to be a portion of it is going to be vehicles, but then you have the whole autonomous side of it. You have the robot factors. You have what's going on with the taxi service, so which is the autonomous
Tesla
aspect
is not
as well.
A car company.
I mean,
Tesla is not a car company.
right now to add FSD, well, they are a car company, but to add FSD to to my car right now, it's only $100 a month. That's not that expensive.
Oh.
Like if you think about, like if you buy a coffee a day, you know, you're at 100. Like there's $100 in a month is not, you know. So I feel like as that gets more affordable and stuff like that, that could be a standard revenue stream as well. And I don't mean that they're not a car. I mean they are.
There's so much more is what
they're right.
There's so much
right
more.
now. There's so much more in the pipeline.
Yeah.
The maps as well. Everything that they do with the FSD and all that. Yeah. No, Obi, I agree, man. It's they're much more than that right now, but all right. But we still wait for the deliveries, right? So I think that's
the strongest catalyst that the stock has.
Well, yeah. I mean, delivery of zero robots, you know, also.
But imagine when that starts rolling in, and they're like, "Oh, Tesla has 2 delivery numbers."
Yeah.
Right.
So, $14 for coffee grounds last meeting month. Yeah.
The stair-step squeeze. I think the price action just kind of speaks for itself.
We have the Nespressos at home too a little bit, but I like perked coffee. If it's the wife and I, will put on a pot of coffee like Saturday morning. Actually, that's a lie. We just use Nespresso. Okay, what's up, Sharif?
Not Palantir, Sean, but that's okay because it's very, very up on the year to date. Had actually a really good headline looking to become partly here an AWS substitute, saying that it solves more problems than Amazon has solved. Keep your eye on that AIP platform, trying to rebrand here into something even bigger, boys.
Yeah, so Palantir is just going to suffer from like too big, too fast, I think. What was that?
You're going to suffer from greatness?
Yeah, well, that's the problem is that we're, U.S. is going to prioritize India instead of Japan apparently right now in tariff trade talks. So we could look at a Indian ETF or a Japanese one as well, EWJ. EWJ, yeah. But anyways, here comes Palantir. Like, it's just fallen in pretty good, man, off of those all-time highs. 4 or 5 days here where we've had some negative movement. And I mean, that started off with a huge move down on Friday where you saw Obi and Neil talking through those imbalances, and they were pretty nasty all the way to the downside, right? So what I was going to say is it's too big, too fast. So meaning like, people got real excited about this company, man. I mean, you could say, sure, Palantir's up 80% on the year, but you were already back down and sort of washed everybody out if you were trying something down there for the year. I mean, tariff time was all the way down there to $70. We went more than double. Now we're back in. I'd say you want to watch out for the 50-period moving average. I think what's scaring Palantir today is, and I don't know, maybe this is wrong, but when Donald Trump is out there threatening to cancel contracts and things like that, and looking into Doge, into Elon, and looking into those contracts and things like that, I just wonder if that scares a little bit out of Palantir. I know that big, beautiful bill got passed and all that, but at the end of the day, a lot of Palantir right now is still reliant on U.S. government contracts. And if those start to slow down by any stretch, then yeah, Palantir will be down 20 or 30% in one day when that headline comes through. So I feel like it's profit taking, it's just trying to settle down. And you don't like the PE, I'm scared to look, so I haven't looked yet. I am an investor in Palantir. You guys know we've been getting some out, but I am long only for a very long time, and I don't have any problems holding on to this. But the PE right now is 250. Forward PE, right? Forget about its current is 600, but forward based on the forward number is 250. So that's huge. And you're not going to want to overpay for a stock. And I think up here is probably overpaying. So as the momentum comes down in some of these names, you're going to see some fire come out of Palantir.
Yeah, I think profit taking is definitely the right way to kind of see it here. It's because it's within range and kind of just still chopping around. The sell-off, yes, we've sold off pretty distinctly today and maybe a little bit earlier on last week and coming into this week as well. But you can see, bigger picture, this is a 3-hour chart, very strong trend, nothing too aggressive. We saw some aggressive selling here in, I guess, in February, January, February, coming in to that April, again, that April bid that we got. But yeah, nothing too crazy in terms of relative selling compared to that here. So that's what I'm seeing, a little bit of within range. But yeah, on the day today, sure, we can talk about that. Again, looking for that continuation. We already saw some selling coming in, like I said, at the end of last week with that aggressive imbalance we got. And then this is the range I kind of defined this morning. I was like, oh boy, what are we gonna do in and around this range? And this is where we were looking at Palantir, where I was like, oh, okay, well, it did break that range, but guess what? Much bigger picture, prior day's range, that selling is continuing now. 128.51's day lows and not really bouncing. A bit of a dead cat bounce on this one. VWAP short was nice as well. We were kind of talking about that one during the lunch hour. But yeah, let's see if it continues day low, 128.51. Who knows? We could definitely see that by end of day.
Circle next on the list here, up about 2.5%. They applied yesterday for a national trust bank charter with the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. If they get approved, they could provide institutional clients with custody service, guys. Keep a look here on Circle. A little flat today.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to log in to see how much Palantir I did buy, because I'm talking myself out of
buying more.
No. Like I might dump what I bought on. I should have. That's a little nearsightedness, but let's talk about Circle, and then I'm going to just figure this out.
All right. So yeah, Circle, again, I borrowed shorts this morning, just kind of looking for a distinct move here. Again, this is another range that we defined in the pre-market session, and I was like, I want to take a little bit of that break of this range as well, but didn't really quite get anywhere as we're still holding in and around this range. Now, don't forget, this same area is that area with the anchored VWAP. Where is it at, though? Here,
where we at?
Go to the 15-minute chart. There we go. So that'll bring it in to where I'm looking at right here. So you can see this is the anchored VWAP that's anchored to the IPO open. And you can see we kind of slam into it. Now we're still orbiting. So this is what I was looking for. I was looking for either a potential continuation or a hold. But as of right now, we're holding sideways. So again, I'm going to let this one, going to be a little bit patient. Let's see if we're going to get another leg to the downside here. You can see that nice stair step fade off of that crazy run up that we did have again, all the way. IPO day low 64s went up to 298.99s. That failure to follow through of that 300 was pretty wild as well. Definitely one for the books. Absolutely. I mean, I keep saying this, but probably the best IPO I've ever seen. And that being said, I haven't been trading for very long. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had stated the same thing there with Mr. Roberts there, and for some reason he thought there could have been better, and there could have been better. I was just talking about straight trading. Like the way that this circle has moved, like Coinbase was an absolutely fantastic IPO as well. But just for day traders, you know, when you had basically 2 days of just extreme push, and then you hold this bottom of 103 and then blast even higher, man, Circle got the job done. I just, again, like, let's wait to see a quarter from them, see what that report looks like, and then maybe we can judge what the proper value is. Because, yeah, I mean, getting a bank charter, like, is that easy to get? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's that easy, but we'll wait to see if they qualify or if they can get that. But, yeah, Circle looks pretty hot right now, that's for sure. I haven't really traded it since the IPO, and that was my biggest trade of the month last month. We'll see if we can put one on again. But you guys have been, the last 2 days, both yourself and Adara have asked for shorts in this name, and it really hasn't, other than the flop right there off the open, we really haven't gotten too much of a pushback. I mean, we faded off of right there, the pre-market high of 185 a couple times. Those were pretty good levels there. And look at 185 now. Actually, now that I look at this, Obi, this looks actually pretty decent right into there. This 185 area holding. So this could be a decent trade, especially if we lose it. At least back to VWAP gives you 182, and then we'll find out what's happening there. I don't remember the last time I've ever looked at that board and it showed me flat. So I'm having a little bit of a nervous breakdown here. I need to get into something right now. Maybe BMNR, Sharif.
I didn't know that this was an Amex. Trade on Amex.
I don't know, Sean. This one's on the way down. It was up over 100%. It's lost about half that right now, losing that $50 area. It's been running quite aggressively, though, last couple of days. This is not a new catalyst. In case you're wondering what's going on, they're pivoting to Ethereum Treasury, and they appoint Tom Lee, out of all people, as chairman of the board. So not a bad look here for Bitmine, BMNR, guys, small cap gapper.
What's up at Marcus in the chat? What's up, my guy, Marcus Steven Johnson? Make sure you do hit the like, subscribe, and get into that chat. Yeah, the Ethereum Trust, right? What goes up might come down. And Obi and I were just talking about, it's on the Amex, on the NYSE American Exchange. So sometimes when we run through those numbers, we're like, what's going on Amex? And I'm like, oh, it must be SPY or GLD, but maybe it's BMNR.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What are you looking at for that?
I mean, here, so I've had eyes on it from yesterday because of the crazy moves that it was doing. Didn't really participate, unfortunately, but again, crazy move up, riding on the hype of, I guess, more crypto hype. Beautiful trend hold as well. So again, hasn't really broken anything, although like you can see, it's kind of expanding a little bit as well. So for however you want to interpret that right there. So I guess that I had on from day one. That's a little interesting, but you can see right here, the higher highs are also kind of expanding as well. This is looking horrible right here. So that's kind of what I mean.
SMCI, AMD.
So from day one, so it's kind of like opening up. So yeah, I like it. The range is definitely getting wider. Definitely a lot more participants on board. I don't know what the float of this is, but wow, 2 million shares float. Oh boy. So yeah,
that was really easy to find. What did you just clicked on that little situation there?
Yeah, little situation.
Short percent short.
No, I wish that information was there. But you know,
I like that.
But yeah, beautiful trend happening on this one. Lots of range, and we're seeing, I guess, a lot of traders in the trading space in general trade this as well. I saw some amazing Twitter posts as well that I've been going through, being like, okay, well, there's an opportunity that I clearly cannot recognize, or I'm not looking at probably, and yeah, definitely something that I will continue to watch closely over the next couple of days. But I haven't taken any trades on it. Nice trend, though.
Yeah, I mean, I remember earlier this morning, we were just like, hey, look, man, I mean, what goes up must come down. I mean, Ethereum right now today, if you go ETHA, you're actually down on the day. You were down about 4%. The last time we checked, you're still down 4% right now. So Ethereum, just traded with the iShares here, ETHA, looks, you know, downside. So, you know, if we're going to run this stock right now based on, there, we just hear the Senate vote, I guess, one big beautiful bill, something about that in my ear. We'll get to that in a minute. But BMNR right now, yeah, I said it earlier, man, you lose this $45 mark, you've got a problem on that. So you talk about, this is actually an Adara kind of stock with the spread being roughly $1 when it's moving and even less than that when it settles down. So BMNR, another look. That's it for the rundown. Thank you so much for everybody watching that. Props up. Thank you to everybody for that one. You know what I wanted to do though? I want to run that game again because I thought that was pretty cool the way we can do this. So I'm going to push start right now on our stock showdown. Is that fine? Can I do this? All right, so we're going to start voting because this, and then we're going to check it out at 2:45. Refresh. Okay, so hit the refresh first.
Yeah, nice.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to start a poll right now. The poll's live. So right now, you got to hit. You got to hit it right now. Oh, there's two right now. So Tesla, the Qs.
Oh, no.
BBAI is hitting here. MNQ's here. BAC. So these are all names right now that are coming on through the chat. So in 15 minutes, we're going to get the total of all of these, and then we're going to figure out which ones are top, and we're going to discuss the top 5 symbols on there. I'm not supposed to tell you that you can only vote once, but we're keep voting, and we're going to get going on that one. This is the stock showdown, everybody. TRNR. What is TRNR? I'm going to see. I'm already looking at random stocks. TR. Even typed it wrong. NR. TRNR here. Interactive Strength. What is this name? $5 today. Yeah, down 12% right now. TRNR up and down. Nice move there, obviously into yesterday, into today actually. Sorry, up to $12. This might be one of those rug pull specials right here. TRNR right now, not looking the greatest, but one of those moves. Thank you guys for submitting that one. We'll look elsewhere. You know what we haven't looked at today? And I don't know, maybe there's no need to look here, but what about GameStop right now? I mean, this could be another name of some popularity. We've talked about this a couple times over and over again, actually. And I really liked some of the levels there on GME. And, you know, we talked about this move down, coming right into this $22 mark. That looked like a great bottom there on GameStop. I mean, look, whether or not you want to take that, it would be up to you, but I think that's worth the risk. We actually went back and looked and said, if you had taken a shot at something like a GameStop, you did have a great opportunity there, you know, to try to play off of some of those lows, $19 to $20, and now you're all the way up to 24 again. Slow grind for GameStop, but definitely grinding a little bit higher right now. The other name that I could see myself getting into here this afternoon would be SMCI. SMCI, again, a pretty good catalyst over the last couple of days, breaking through its little channel. So this, whoops, there's the split. Our charts are not split adjusted there. $46. So that's going to be a long if we can get into that. Now you're 48.30 today, so we're not expecting to get back down into 46.50 or anything like that. But for me, SMCI, again, if you're looking here at a 5-minute chart, you're bouncing off the 200 period moving average. Like we kind of rejected it there, we're rejecting it again, and then basically right there again. So it's prom night all over, just a bunch of rejections. And then you get right there, 48.70, downside play into 47.80 or so. I think SMCI, if we can get back into this area, 48.80, up just a little bit from here, I think there's some, you know, some good opportunities to get short into SMCI. And then the other name I almost went the other way with was AMD. Right now as well. The chat's still going crazy on all these symbols, so that's definitely working out. But right now, nice move to the downside there for Advanced Micro Devices. I almost shorted this into VWAP, but again, just looking at what the market's doing, I'm not sure that I have like a real good feel yet on what we want to be doing here as far as market moves here into the afternoon. So something to look at for sure as we sort of wait for, I don't know, my ears to the ground. Like if we do hear anything, like I said, there's the big, beautiful bill talk. We have news up. We have everything in our ear. Brian Shannon's coming from Alpha Trends will be here this afternoon for our recap show. So I'm looking forward to that, getting prepared for that as well. And then I think the other play could be Robinhood. You know, this was a name that, okay. Wow, it's all the way back up here. Okay, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're looking for here. I think Robinhood, although was I talking about it being a short off of this level? Probably. So there it is. So we are now, wow, look at that. Take a look at that. Yeah. Just came right in, right off that level. So yeah, regardless of what I thought, there's Robinhood right now coming back into play. So we're gonna go short there off VWAP. I had the order sitting there because we talked about it previously. $95. Let's just give this a little bit of room. If it comes up and breaks 95, then I think that's an area that we'd look to get out. I'm gonna average into this play. Real light rate now, right? Looking to get a little heavier in this, but not until we get near $95, right? And so if we can get up to there, this level, see if we can use some of this. A little bit of a bump right now, fine, I get it. But we're gonna go short 94.75 into $95 and try to give this one about $1 worth of room. Again, huge move up yesterday, huge move today, down 10% from its highs, retracing right back into VWAP. I don't have these lines on here for no reason at all. So we're gonna try to trade off of VWAP a little bit now on Robinhood. But yeah, the trend rate here, look at that. This is the problem too. Bouncing real nicely off of the 200 period moving average, which was lower here from yesterday's move. So right into there, $90 flat would have been a great look, Obi. Down there for Robinhood, just wasn't sitting here, enough to see that. So Robinhood, we'll figure that out. $90, but I'm going to go short now. Not afraid of this position whatsoever. We're going to get more into this name as we approach $95 with our ultimate stop up there. Where's our target for maybe getting some out? You may ask, or you may not. What about just this 50 period moving average? Let's try 93.75. If we can get back into 93.75, we'll see if we can take a quick 50 cents or so on this one and then ring the register. I'll take out like 10% at 94 just because it's an even level, but then we'll work on it after that. So yeah, there's a little bit of stuff that I'm working with here. Obi, we'll see if we get a 94 print. So far, so good. Just 10 cents in the money now on Robinhood, but you just sort of heard my plan of action there.
Yeah, no, I like that. Look on Robinhood there. Market's been kind of consolidating sideways. I'm looking at the Nasdaq here. So since about 1 o'clock, we've just been chop sideways. So about for an hour and a half, getting a little bit of a bid back through that 300 here on Tesla. So more kind of chop. I want to get involved maybe if it kind of can get closer to days highs or days lows. But pretty much sideways consolidation as of right now. But yeah, I kind of want to go over and see what some of these stocks have been doing in terms of volume gainers here as well. But I think that before that, we're going to be right back from Adara.
Keep an eye here in GEO and CXW, both of which are prison stocks. We just had Donald Trump, president of the U.S., share a pretty long post here in Truth Social about the new alligator Alcatraz. Of course, it's going to be a prison. Just talking about how conceptual work on this started 6 months ago, and various prison development firms are looking at doing it with the Trump administration. So GEO and CXW on watch. I guess Trump alluding to potential collaborations between prison development firms and alligator Alcatraz. Back to you.
You know that Robinhood robs from the rich and gives to the poor. So right here, Robinhood starting to head to the downside. So a nice little 30-cent winner right here. I hope some of you joined on this trade. We only have a piece out there at 04s, 93.04. Now we're coming back in. I'm actually bidding 82s, low side of that. Our out was going to be 75. There it is. Did we get that? Yes, we did. So what was I bidding anyways? 82s. So yeah, so we get the 82 fill right there on Robinhood. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening now as we're starting to come back in. So there it is, man. Bang, bang, bang. Right there for a couple quick trades in and out of Robinhood. We're still in it. I still have 2/3 of this trade. So now we just wait to see what happens into the close. I mean, now we get the 50 period moving average. So that was a pretty good trade. Right into here. Wait a minute. That's 92.80s. All right, man. We have a long ways to go here on Robinhood. This trade, I don't know about this trade actually. Now that I see sort of the range on this, I should have maybe done a bit of a better job on that. Let's bid 93.15s or so down into here just to see if there is any sort of resistance or anything at $93. I mean, right there we fell in. That's 93 flat or so. That's 93 flat right there. So we'll see if we can get some actionable trades here on Robinhood. So far, so good. I mean, that was a pretty good one. Right now. It's so funny because Ramin is using my phone charger. Yeah. So it's like I look down and it's like it's not my phone. So I'm like,
oh right, you're like tripping out.
Yeah. But no, it's fine. It's completely fine. Ramin, your phone is at I think 59% right now in charging. So it's going good right there. But yeah, so that's it. Oh, I already tweeted out. Did I tweet out what was for lunch? I just got a little.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Did I? No, I just went and got a little salad bowl here from Roll Nation.
My lunch is definitely starting to hit me.
Yeah, you went hard on lunch, eh?
I mean, I tried to go to a spot.
Oh, here it is.
But they were so packed, and I was like,
what spot did you try to go to?
I tried to go to Lau Bar.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Okay, yeah.
No, actually they were closed. The other place, and then I tried to go to the place just beside them. They were packed, and I was like, all right, well, you know.
I tried to go to Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Closed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Our Tim Hortons right here.
Closed.
The streets are packed.
For a burger. Yeah, the streets are packed.
Streets are packed. Like, what is Tim Hortons doing?
Yeah.
Right now, and I looked at my app. It's like every single Tim Hortons is open.
The shawarma place is open.
Yeah, I know exactly. Shawarma place was what's going on, man. Anyways, this is what I had right here. Oh, here's Ramin's phone right here. Here it is, Ramin. There's your phone, right there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Restaurant Brands International, American. Yeah, but 7-Eleven's open. Okay. Yeah, so there it is. So I got some pumpkin seeds and stuff like that. It was just really for a roll. It was really nice. Tempura shrimp was the protein I chose. But you know what was really the best part about all of this? Here's a little behind the scenes. Oh, that's, hold on, that wasn't the behind the scenes picture I wanted to show you. Oh, what's up with that? There it is right here. It's pretty cool. I just took this shot there. Look at my guy right here. This is just my desk. This is what I'm looking at every day. Here's my charts up here. Looking at Marvell, of course, and then the level 2s and everything that you guys see on the screen. And this is my top look. So Obi and I have multiple charts that we look at. Obviously, this is a daily there, a 20-minute, a 1-minute, a 5, I think a 60-minute there. And then the indexes over here. So I just, this is what I'm doing every day, and just, views is what we did right there. I didn't think the futures were going to fall like that when they did back then. But go check us out all on our socials as we, continue to hopefully provide you with some decent content. Okay.
What's happening with?
Is there something happening with Tesla? I just went over to it.
Something's happening on the tape.
Showing up on the scanners.
I'm not looking at the chart, but aggressive kind of, I guess more bid coming into Tesla here. But yeah, no, that looked like a pretty good lunch. I like that relation place. I think it's pretty solid, and it's just right here, just right beside the office.
It wasn't
new spot. They didn't.
It was only like $16 or something like that. Like it wasn't.
It's you know what I like? It's
16
right
Canadian.
there.
It's like $4 American or something.
Yeah, with where we're at right now.
No, it's one. Actually, our exchange rate's not that bad. Was it $1.37?
Yeah, $1.37, $1.36. It's always fluctuating.
Yeah.
Had a beef brisket burger with deviled egg potato salad.
That's a banger.
And Dr. Pepper.
That is what was.
For lunch.
We didn't get an opportunity to do it on the early part of the show there.
But I'm feeling it now. And it was funny because while I was in there, this is a new spot, right? This is a new spot. So I've seen it show up. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to go, but I didn't really get the chance to go. But when I go in there and she's asking me, she's like, okay, do you want to eat here or do you want to take it to go? Initially, I'm like, I'm going to take it to go. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to sit down and just finish it. I want to eat it hot. I want to eat it hot, like right off the thing. And then, so I was like, never mind, I'll just eat it right here. And it was absolutely solid. But while I was in there, there was 2 contestants that came in, contest winners that they were holding like online or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they got a pound of brisket each for free.
That's good value.
That's like, it was like
$30, $40 or something?
Yeah, something like that. For like $50 worth or something like that. And I was like, that was pretty cool. They're like taking pictures. Some dude came by and he came up, talked to me. He's like, is this your first time here? I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Good service. Good service.
Nice, man.
Nice. Smoke barbecue, smokehouse or something it's called. I have no idea. But
Good. All right. Tony is cracking up. I don't know what we did there, but
Saying,
good.
here we got a couple super chats here.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, we got a
We
couple
go over
super
them.
chats. Okay. All right. So let's see. Well, I'll go with One Stop Sports first here. So where do you think NVIDIA is likely to close?
Ooh.
Thank you for the super chat. And then we also have Otto Chester. I learned so much from you guys. Thank you,
keep it there.
CMPS thoughts. All right, so thank you, Otto, and thank you, One Stop, for those super chats. We can take a look at some of those as well. So NVIDIA, yeah, where do you think NVIDIA will close? Honestly, I have no idea.
Good guess.
Yeah, I have no idea. Where do I think? I really don't know. I'm not thinking that way at all, nor do I want to, I guess. But the thing is, it's kind of what we can see right now with the limited information that's been printed on the chart is, after the strong sell-off, we recovered and we're kind of chopping around VWAP here. So it seems to have kind of, balanced itself out after selling off pretty aggressively with a bit of what looks like roughly a 50% reversion of the selling that we got on NVIDIA. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one. And then we can go over the CMPS as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love, getting super chats, similarly to that, but it is really tough to try to figure out like where stock, and I was just playing around when, trying to guess an area to close at. But you know what? I mean, down 2.25 percentage points. I mean, to me, it's more important about what happens with the Nasdaq. And I mean, to make a call there, if the market's going to continue to sort of head sideways, if not downside, I would like to think that if we say that NVIDIA is going to move maybe 0.5% one way or the other, so 1% would be $1.50, so 75 cents, like one way or the other now. I would say it's more likely to get to 153.50 down here. Look at the 200 period moving average and maybe try to stall out somewhere in between 153 and 153.50. I like that play better than 155.50 up to 156. I actually, now that I see this, I actually would really like to see NVIDIA make a move up here because that could indicate a short opportunity for me up here as well if we can get that. So I would think for NVIDIA, and thank you for the super chat, I would say it's more likely downside, and that's just because when I'm looking here at the futures, we are underneath VWAP. Although the trend right now, I mean, if you're going to try to, there really isn't one, unfortunately, unless I use maybe a bigger time frame. But I don't expect too much volume to come through. I mean, look at the volume that we were doing here in the first 2 hours, and then now look what's happening here in the last two. I'm not super excited to, make predictions on what's going to happen, but for me, we're going to have to look for names that are moving around. I mean, that's exactly why we went into Robinhood. Okay, I'm going to put another bid, even though it's just really not taking too much profit on this, but I would put another bid down here. If we can get another 18 cents or so, bidding 94.04s, just take another 10% out there. We're literally sitting right there. Am I on Nasdaq? Yeah, I am on Nasdaq. Okay, so 94.4 there. We'll see if we can get a little piece out of that, and then maybe then we get some downside pressure into the rest of the day. But see how it's just bouncing around. Pretty hard to trade. The one semi name that I would look at would be SMCI. I mean, this is the one that right now looks like it wants to break this top. So I actually kind of rubber stamping this long. I think this is a good long here for SMCI. Above VWAP, we got a turned up 200 period moving average. We're turning up here, nice rounded bottom there on the 50 period moving average, looking like it wants to take this out. So yeah, for me, this is a pretty decent play right now for SMCI. Just looking at breaking through that top 48.65. It's also pretty convenient that it's going to be the 200 period moving average or so right there as well. So yeah, SMCI, if the market starts to go, let's look at breaking that one. I think that has a good opportunity to get higher there as well. All right, let's see. Vaughn Clark has a super chat. I see the name Obi on there. We're going to go through all of the super chats. We got to get to Adara with potential news on something.
Keep an eye here on BP, a little bit of a spike in this one. As you can see, today's highs around that $30.50 level. Sky News reporting that Motor Fuel Group, or I guess the owner here of Motor Fuel Group, is among the talks as a potential suitor here for BP's or British Petroleum's $8 billion Castrol unit. So BP has more suitors. We know that this one's been in acquisition talks for a while as we send it back to the guys.
All right, guys. So Prop XP. Level up your trading game with Prop XP. Up to 1 to 200 leverage and static drawdown. Scroll the site and pick your challenge at propxp.com. Share directly on our platform, sign up, try it for free, and start your trading journey. Enjoy rapid payouts and real human support, no bots. Rated 4.6 stars on Trustpilot, trusted by traders worldwide. Right now, get 50% off with code TraderTV. Links in the description. Be the trader, get funded. Join PropXP today. PropXP, your edge starts here. Visit propxp.com. All right, so let's run through some of those super chats here. So I think the one by Otto was CMPS. So I have no idea what this one is. And I think you were asking for I guess thoughts on Otto. Let me just thoughts on CMPS. Let me just pull up your specific super chat here. So yeah, CMPS thoughts. All right. So yeah, a little bit of a flush. I guess I don't know what this catalyst is, but right away when I see something like this, I'm like, obviously some sort of event occurred, and as soon as I see some sort of an event, just to give me a little bit of direction. Now, shout out to Mr. Brian Shannon. I dropped down that anchored VWAP. I was going to say something else, but I dropped down that anchored VWAP here onto the chart, and you can see right here, kind of reclaim that. So pretty much a little bit of a consolidation, catching a bit of a reversion as of right now with a 225 bottom. So it seems like a lot of selling off of whatever event this was, and a little bit of a stair step back up. Today seems like a strong day back in, but again, I don't know what this catalyst was. I'd have to look into it, but yeah, I don't know about thoughts on this one. American Depository Shares, Compass Pathways, PLCs. No idea what's going on there. But okay, so wow, these super chats are coming in real
fast and furious,
real hot. So okay, so we gotta keep track of the fan funding, I guess, tab here. So I did miss your earlier one, Vaughn Clark. Sorry about that. And I guess I don't know if we covered Patrick Jam, Amazon as well. And I guess Floppy Disk, thank you very much, saying love the show. Have you guys ever traded HAS? 3-year high break and a strong follow through today. And then Vaughn Clark again, super chat. Number 2, let's see if it gets through. Got through. Thank you very much. And take on Ford. Oh my God. All right, so I guess we'll start off with Vaughn because I did miss yours earlier. We can go with that one, and then I guess I'll let Sean take over a couple of the other ones there, with like the HAS by Floppy Disk. And then I think
Hasbro's?
we did the TRNR. Yeah, I think a Hasbro 3-year high break they're talking about. But Ford, oh boy, definitely not watching this one on the day today. That's some aggressive strength. Oh boy. So yeah, that's a bit of a potential miss on my part. Doing some relative volume and that strength as well. Let's go to a 3-hour chart. I want to see what's going on. Higher time frame here. Let's take some of that off. And yeah, nice little bid on Ford, breaking out of a multi-month consolidation, it would seem, as of right now. So going even a little bit higher. Oh boy, look at that. Is this almost multi-year? Yeah, pretty much, I would say so. How many days is that? That's 335 days of a measurement, and we're breaking out of that consolidation. So whichever earnings this was, that dropped us down like crazy. This was, okay, so July 2024. That earnings kind of brought us all the way down from 13 to some lows that eventually got down to $8.25, finally breaking out of that consolidation. So Ford is looking pretty solid right now, down in the dumps for over a year there. But yeah, what we got going on. I think that's a call for.
Yeah, let's go to Adair, and then I want to show something.
So to provide some context on the Ford and GM move, so fun fact, our guest tonight on the market recap, Brian Shannon, actually flagged the GM breakout this morning, but both Ford and GM reporting their sales for the month of June. Tesla will not be reporting those deliveries until tomorrow, but a lot of these other car makers already did. Ford here, I guess, strong deliveries, and GM up 7% year over year for US. Ford didn't really provide percentage metrics for whatever reason, but GM, nice year over year increase and massive, what looks like a buy program this morning. So just a little bit of context on those breakouts as we send you back to the guys.
All right, thank you, Adair, for that one. Look, this is something that, of course, I remember this for sure. Shout out right here to Brad the Buckeye right here. And we had talked about this. He went in for some amputation. He said that we had talked about it last November on the show. And this is this man right here. You want to talk about a warrior right now, going through everything and getting right back on the ice right there. That was last November. So you're back doing this, man, less than a year later. So congratulations on that, man, and stay strong, keep going. What will and determination right there. So congratulations to that. It's always nice to see, you know, trying to make the best of it, right, and get out there. That looks like, I've seen some sledge hockey before, and it's kind of cool because some of the rinks that my daughter plays at, they actually have the, this is my feed here. I don't know what's going on. Tim Denning, I'm 38. Okay, what's up, Tim? Yeah, so they have the boards. So, you know, like hockey players are sitting in the boards on the bench, and they have, not fiberglass, but I guess plexiglass where the boards are. So you're in there, in and off the ice, and with an amazing view of the rest of the game. So shout out to Brad there, and thank you so much for sharing that. And you know, congratulations on the rehab. Looks like it's going successful. That's for sure. All right, so Hasbro right now. Wow, I didn't know this toy maker. What is rallying these guys? This is not a. I remember when when Mattel with Barbie.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know,
trade,
hello Barbie, let's go party. Well, if you are a Hasbro shareholder right now, you're partying up as well.
Do you think
I'm wondering, there could be maybe some video game relationship
cards?
here. Which
one's
ones?
Pokemon cards?
Are they Pokemon cards?
know.
I don't know. Well, Adara has a story, so let's go find out. Maybe adding to it.
Look, this is really interesting and not what I would have necessarily expected. Hasbro striking a multi-year casino licensing partnership. So from games to, I guess, casino games here for HAS, Goldman Sachs upgrading them to a buy rating after this announcement came through this morning. Back to you.
Okay,
boy,
yeah, well,
all right,
get them when they're young, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly,
Like,
I mean-
next thing you know, they're gonna be selling, like, this is the blackjack dealer doll, you know? Comes with, like, a deck of cards,
boy.
comes with some this and some that. Oh, damn, dog. I mean, as we start talking about it, guess what just happened, guys? Guess what just happened? We now have a new member of the club. It's a dollar club right now for us on Robinhood. So there it goes right there. That's $1 in the money, man. You're welcome on that one. Let's go. It's
another one.
Followed by...
Another one.
Followed by props. So there it goes right now. Robinhood. I mean, we just gave this to you, man. There's $1. Boom. Right there off of VWAP, man. Shout out to Brian Shannon again. There's the nice move back in. Let's put some more bids down in here into $93. What a good way to end. Hey, yeah, we get that 93 right now. Nice. Oh, yeah. Now there's a problem, isn't there? So right there, we did have a little bit of a talk there about what we thought in regards to NVIDIA maybe going to the downside, and all we really did was look at the futures. We picked a name here, Robinhood, and we actually discussed this earlier as well. We like that downside push there for Robinhood. So again, like the stock, didn't like the action there. Nice trade, nice fade there off VWAP for Robinhood. So that's going to be a good trade there. Again, so yeah, what's up, Venu? I think that's a good question. I mean, all we want to do here is teach anyways. What made you short Robinhood? Yeah, I mean, so I think the real question is, like, I was looking around. Well, that's a great question, but I was looking around for different stocks to trade, right? I mean, we looked at the futures and was like, nothing's really happening. So I remember, you know, we had looked at Robinhood. It was part of the rundown. And I was just like, it already went to the top. It was already moved down 10%. So like that top was $99. So definitely faded off 100. But that's not what the play is here. I'm not going short 94 because of this 99. It was because we went all the way down, made our way back up, and traveled too far. It went right back to VWAP. That's the volume weighted average price. You sort of had to sometimes think about, if the market was going to go one way, is there a name that potentially could join that party? And, you know, I chose you, Pikachu, and that was Robinhood. So I was just like, it's at VWAP. There wasn't any other names. I have scanners going through right here as well. We talk about the scanners that we have coming through. And I don't know, at the time, I guess Robinhood on here, you know, gets lit up there at VWAP. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but you know, we scanned through and we found Robinhood there at VWAP. So that's volume weighted average price. So that's where the buyers and sellers, it's the average weighted price of the stock today. And it's an over-under game. It's like, you're probably really good at that game, Limbo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm not good at it, obviously, body type. But you can check this out right here. $94 to the downside right there for Robinhood. So, yeah, man, I mean, that's just, for me, what we do. on the show. You know, I'm trying to take it. And again, it's $1 in the money. It did have about, remember where our stop was going to be, breaking through 95. So, you know, now much better than that. Now we're $1.40 in the money, almost a 2-to-1 trade right now on that. So yeah, man, we'll just hit congratulations or awesome or oh my God, or I don't have the congratulations, Neil does, but you know, congratulations for that trade if you guys had that. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So we'll get it all figured out, you know.
Great trade there, man.
Yeah, thanks,
I mean,
man.
you were talking about it, but you kind of looked away from it as well. Started to come in, started hitting your orders. Like, what more are you gonna ask? You know what I mean, those are some of the best ones. Where
Hey man, I just want to say.
And the thing was, you were talking. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Go. No, I cut it.
But the craziest thing was when it was bidding up into it, you were talking about it, and then that order failed, and you were like, "I was already sitting there."
Right.
I was already sitting there.
Right.
So it's like
I was like,
you know
I'm looking to go short on this one. Whoops, I am short.
Look at that.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing about. We're going to go to Adair in a second. That's the thing about putting orders, setting orders out.
Yeah, I see. That's something I've been trying to learn, and when I see that happen live like that, I'm just like, oh boy, like that's something that you know.
So that was just a 1-unit trade. If it did get closer to 95, we would put on a little bit more. But what's up, Adair?
Let's keep an eye here on the market. Donald Trump here actually speaking in an audio-only conference here for the press in Air Force One. Basically, he was asked, are you thinking about this tariff pause? Are you thinking about extending your tariff pause for July 9th? He said, I'm not thinking about the pause. We're sending letters to countries right now. So again, not like super clear the way he's wording it. He's still talking about it, but he's just saying that countries are spoiled and they're not willing to make deals. But that it really doesn't sound like he's looking to extend this pause from what he said so far. So just keep an eye here on the market as we push quite a bit lower here. Again, not thinking about extending that tariff deadline as we send it back to the guys.
All right, so just one quick thing. I'm going to let Obi go, obviously. No, it's just like when we were getting those questions, there's no way Obi, myself, Adair, anybody in the chat, you know, can predict, especially what Donald Trump's going to say, when he's going to say it, or what's going to happen, especially as we approach tariff talk time. And, you know, the thing is that, like, when you're underneath view up, like, you got to kind of pick some kind of a direction. And, you know, that's what's happening right now. It's just we are getting a nice move down in, and it's nice to be short in this situation. Trump saying Japan's tariffs most likely or could pay between 30 to 35% tariff from Japan. That is a bad number coming through. We do not want to hear anything like that as far as tariff talk is concerned. But there we go. Anyways, at the end of the day, this name is moving around. There's Robinhood, man. We are now not $1. We're coming in close to $2 right now in the money on this one. So we're pretty happy with the trading so far here on this name. But yeah, as he continues to talk, run the mouth a little bit about Japan, let's go find out exactly what this story is with Miss A.
Yeah, Donald Trump just called Fed Chair Jerome Powell a moron twice within like 2 seconds, basically saying that the U.S. needs to have its interest rate at least 3 points lower. He also, I mentioned earlier, he said he's not going to extend that trade deadline. He went really hard on Japan here, saying that he doubts they'll even have a deal with Japan and that Japan could pay a 30 to 35% tariff. He also said that he's basically going to be writing roughly one-page letters to countries telling them how much they owe in tariffs, that they should be honored to be able to trade with the U.S. So lots happening here. Tariff talk from Donald Trump. Again, no video, just audio. He's on Air Force One answering some questions in the market. Seems to be reacting. Back to you.
Oh boy, is it really reacting over here. So again, getting involved with the players that you're seeing pushing into the market, I think sometimes a little bit of a tape scalp is in order here. And oh boy, our sellers hitting that bid. Yeah, that ask is kind of being left alone right here. Nothing really happening here. A lot of red prints pushing in as well. So I'm trying to be as a little bit scalpy as possible. But yeah, that was really nice. Again, I was already trying Amazon a bunch of times as it started to consolidate here because I was like, all right, well, you know, where are you going over here? But again, NVIDIA starts to crack. You can see this beautiful trend break as well on the market. These are 15-minute candles. And remember, I was like, we're kind of just consolidating since about 1 o'clock here. Wasn't even that long ago, about an hour, about half an hour ago. I think it was about 2:30-ish. And I was like, yeah, we're just consolidating. And look at that, the break of that consolidation coming in so beautifully here, and a little bit of a quadunking action to the downside. Softy almost near day low.
Let's go,
Apple almost
dude.
near
Great trade.
day low. Amazon not quite there yet. I was trying for a while, but finally kind of punched in. Well, I think what I like from what I did here was I punched in relatively much more than any of those times that I did over here. So again, working out pretty nicely as we're coming back in. But let's see where the bid catches on. Let's see what happens after we get back from Madeira.
Just want to let you guys know Donald Trump no longer speaking. He ended his remarks to the Air Force One. I just, again, want to clarify the biggest thing that happened here that pushed this market to the downside is that he said he is not, he's not interested in moving this tariff deadline of July 9th. By that point, countries are going to be getting their letter where they get their tariffs. Specifically, he said at this point they're really not interested in a deal with Japan, which is probably going to have to face 30 to 35% tariffs. The other thing that I think is worth noting here is he said he has about 2 to 3 top choices for the new Fed chair. The markets have really been pricing in either Scott Bessent or Kevin Warsh, who was a former Fed governor himself. We're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But either way, some interesting comments being made there by President Donald Trump on the Air Force One, and the market again right now bouncing as these comments come to an end. Back to you.
Busy times, man. Okay, so we only have, a great trade. We try to diamond hands just as much as we can. We got $2 on this. When we looked at Robinhood, we didn't think we'd get $2. This went all the way down into the 200 period moving average. If I don't get some out there, then I will not be very happy with myself. So we are pretty much emptying the clip out there right now, just stacking it up, man. We'll buy a coffee on the way home. So that was a nice trade right there for us on Robinhood right there. Yeah, there it is, DJ 2 a.m. There we go. Good play on that one. Actually, we have, what am I talking about? We have about, did I say 10% left? We have a little bit more than that, but not too much more. Okay, so that's that. I don't want to say anything too political here because there's a lot of Donald Trump supporters or anything like that, but like consistently calling people morons and things, I don't know. Like I'm not really feeling that kind of talk, but I mean, if it gets the job done, and we'll see what kind of pressure is on Jerome Powell. I mean, remember the fact is the CME is most likely not going to cut. I mean, here's the CME Fed rate tool. Let's just talk about that just real quick because this is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys are watching the show, you definitely know about this. We show it all of the time, but you can just Google CME Fed rate tool. And then there it is right now. So we are at, this is the current rate, 425 to 450 and overnight rate. So you're at 79% chance that as of the July rate cut, which is what we're looking for right now, July 30th, so a month today, basically, you're going to get, unless things dramatically change, like probably no rate cut. So I don't know if that moron talk is going to change into something more harsh after that happens. But then as of September, the market is pricing in a 25 basis point cut. And I think if we went all the way down to December, I think there was about 3 cuts this year. Yeah, so 45% chance that we've had that third cut by December, okay? But his term is not up until after the April. And then now at that time, you're down to 325, 350. So that would only be 1 full point away from where we are right now. And that goes into April of 26. Jerome Powell's, Fed Chair Powell's date. Oh, we just got 08s there, by the way, I believe, because I don't have that bid anymore. We got 92.05. Actually, right there, 92.05. We were sitting there and just grabbed that right into the mouth of this low of the day, basically here on not low of the day of this move there on Robinhood. So that's why we were sitting there. I thought the best case scenario we were going to get was this 93 change area, but how wrong we were. But what I was going to say there about Powell is he's done in May, so President will be able to elect the next Fed chair. So I don't know exactly how that process works, but Donald Trump elected Powell. So he brought him in and now is not too pleased, Mr. Too Late right there. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Is there anything happening with DJT today again on that? Oh, you know what I wanted to look up? That was what it was, NTDOY. I saw someone in the chat talk about Sony. I think that's a good look as well there. Nintendo right now on the OTC markets. Oh, yuck. I'm going to just clean this up. I'll look at Sony for a second. It doesn't look like Nintendo's moving that much. It's right now down 4%.
Have you seen it on the weekly though?
Nintendo? No, I'll have to look. I don't really look at any of these names. I don't know about you. Like, I'm primarily invested in US.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't even really hold any ADRs or anything. I've invested in Canada, of course, but for those names, energy names, bank names, like nothing. Yeah. And we talked about it. Enbridge, and then some of the Canadian banks for the yield. But other than that,
Bombardier.
no, not Bombardier. No,
For me.
Yeah, that. No. Yeah, one I wish I was in was Celestica CLS.
Yeah.
That's been really quite the nice move there as well. Yeah, Sony only down 2% on that news. So I don't know. I mean, does that affect 30% tariff? Right? Like, is that like our PS5s and all that stuff? Like, they're made, I would assume, not in the U.S. Whether or not they're made in Japan or not, just because Sony's a Japanese company, I don't know if they're made over there. They could be made in Taiwan or Pakistan or somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, who's buying a PS5 anyways these days? Me, I guess.
I think there's still a lot of people.
I got a secondary market. I got mine for I think it was 500 or 475. Came with 2 controllers.
Yeah. Last console I bought
6
was a
months ago.
PS4, long time
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
Came with that the Batman Arkham Legends package.
It's probably sick.
Yeah, it was really fun.
You probably played that game to death.
I never finished it. I never finished it. But yeah, no, I played.
Wow,
I
$2 and change.
You know, that's where I started playing Rocket League, because they made it. It was free one time when
That's a
they first
hype game.
brought it to the PlayStation Store. That's when I started playing, and then yeah, I was I guess stuck in bronze for many years until I had I guess a little bit of the right guidance, and then we started doing a little bit better.
That's one of the more popular games that's been around for a very long time, Rocket League.
Yeah, and it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So it's pretty solid. I mean, the beautiful thing about it is like, it reminds me a lot about trading, because I guess the skill ceiling is extremely high. It's almost yeah, it's extremely high. But yeah, no, it's all about like putting in the time, putting in the reps, getting better, having certain you know, types of
Rob, you guys see Rob here often, and he shared, you know, the one thing, I mean,
where he is right now?
yeah, I mean, I wish it was a little bit sunnier for him, but he was showing this, and he's trying to flex that he's on some boat right here. I'd like to see a fishing rod out here, Rob, at some point. I would be jumping in this lake. I love lake swimming, man. And then one more there. And, you know, Ontario, such beautiful, I mean, all throughout Canada. I mean, even Minnesota, there's plenty of spots in the US as well. But yeah, lake and cottage life treating the best right there. So shout out to Rob. Thank you for sharing all of that. And these guys sometimes see him walking around. He'll bring Neil and I coffees and whatnot, helping out in the back. So thanks, Rob, for showing that.
What lake is that?
Lake whatchamacallit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, of course. Of course. Should have known by the who's it, what's its trees in the back.
There you go.
Come on.
Right.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, so I have no idea what lake that is, bro. But yeah, anyways, yeah, lake whatchamacallit. But that was pretty, I mean, I thought that was pretty quick response there by me there. That was pretty good. I might go get another coffee. I don't know what's going on. My coffee's getting cold over
We got
here.
a super chat here by Trade R Gibby on
What's up, R.
X with the super chat here. I have over 10,000 hours on Rocket League since 2015. That's awesome, dude. Congrats on that. And I think I have.
Is that a congrats thing? 10,000 hours?
10,000 hours is a huge accomplishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to be a master at anything, what's the minimum?
10,000 hours. That's what
10,000 hours minimum.
That's a lot of hours. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot
I think my total hours on
hours
Rocket
divided by
League is
24,
over
it's roughly
6,000.
500
I think my total playtime is definitely over 6,000 to 7,000 hours now. I would say that not a lot of those are dedicated hours in terms of trying to get better, but definitely just having fun playing the game was a lot of it for sure. But yeah, good stuff there. Question: What rank are you?
That's 400 days, by the way. 415 days.
Yeah. 450 days? Yeah.
415 days.
I mean, a little bit every day goes a long way. You know, I would grind. I would say about three hours a day, roughly. Every day.
Yeah, and it adds up.
Yeah, it definitely adds up. It adds up a lot.
But that's a free-to-play game, isn't it?
Now it is.
Oh, now. Okay.
Now it is. Yeah. I mean, it was before as well, and.
Somebody, Penguin Dynasty, you do not have 30,000 hours in Halo?
Oh, I'll believe it.
I believe all of these things.
I'll believe it. Yeah.
I more believe what Cowboy Mike said there, but I'm not going to repeat that. Guys, get into the chat
Total
to find out
lifetime gaming
what Cowboy
hours?
Mike just said in the chat over there. Okay, shout out to Cowboy Mike right there. He has over 30,000 hours on a certain website, he said. Over there. I believe that's probably true over there. So, okay. Okay. Yeah, so now as we go, you can see we're having a great time. We want to say a big happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian viewers as well. All right, so I'm going to bid here near the low of the day. I have 70s now. Actually, I have 70 flat. I'm going to go. Let's just go to 85 again. Take another bid out there in just case it floats back in here. 91.85 here. We're about $2 and change in the money. Just trying to have some good fun here. It's 3:13. Did I miss the power hour? Did you?
Yes,
see that?
yes.
It did come through.
It did come through. It did come through.
Can we get it again, Andre? If you know what the power hour thing is, I want to show that thing off. I think
it's cool.
I really like.
I like it. It's like, kind of like an alert as well.
Yeah.
For me, and I'm just like, oh, yep, power hour coming in.
I got to find a way to get Obi on the show more, man. I mean, you got some great trades here with Amazon. We got some great trades earlier on the day as well. But
give me a nice contract.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do for sure. No, yeah. Well, that's the thing. We really love having Obi here because he's the ultimate fill-in. Like you did during the midday show. You're doing all of this stuff for us.
I mean, I can do a little bit.
We talked about having a Blue Ocean show.
Yeah.
An after-hours show. That might
you
not
guys got to
be the
use
same
the potential. You know what I mean? You guys not even using.
I think we're using the potential.
This isn't even my final form.
I know.
This isn't even my final form.
Think about how much better you are now than you probably were a while ago.
Oh, I don't even want to watch my first ever. I want to go back and maybe watch that first ever time I was on the midday. I think I was on with Prad, my first time ever. Yeah, it was. I don't know what happened. But that seems like a very, very long time ago.
We tried. Brendan and I had a podcast for a while. We did about 30 episodes, and then it was like, that was fun.
Yeah.
And then it just became like a little bit repetitive for us. So I still think we should do. Brendan's always telling me I'm always trying to. So Brendan's like the executive producer. Like he tries to figure out what's right and wrong and what we're trying to do here on the show and trying to improve and get better and take some time off the camera. He didn't have the trading sort of. I don't want to say experience, but Neil and I had a little bit more. But Brendan had started always with us and came from a news background.
Yeah.
So that's where he had sort of came through, and then all of a sudden, obviously, we had discovered Adara, thank God, who now does way more than everything we could have asked. So I'm going to give a big public thank you once again to Adara again for everything that she's brought in, and the fact that she's been doing just so well at what she's done has given Brendan an opportunity to go out and there's reasons why we have all these ads and everything all the time as we look to grow the show, and then everyone here has their own some of these hot. Thumbnails that we have all getting worked on, and Ramin's trying to solve the social media game as well, and just going back and forth. So there's a lot of stuff happening here, and I feel like podcast could be something else that we do, but it doesn't even have to be market related. Then we have the recap show as well that I think has been a good success for us and for the viewers. So
I used to watch the show from home here. Wow, this Amazon's really giving me a little bit of FOMO. It's
FOMO.
Sideways. I've been trying to get short for the past, I guess, hour or so, and it's just kind of chopped.
I thought you were short.
I just got out on this aggressive bid back up, so I was like, all right, whatever. Anyways, I used to watch the show from home while I was trading, and just maybe just starting to see a glimpse of treading water in terms of trading from home. I would watch the show, and you guys have come a long way from when I started trading. When I started watching you guys trading at home, I think it was in 2021 or 2.
Yeah, a little bit earlier. I think.
Yeah, a little bit earlier. Maybe I started trading early 19, I would say.
This is why I love the chat. Okay, look, Baby Hands Donnie, what's up, Baby Hands? This conversation is getting boring. The very next chat. This is very interesting, Sean. Always love hearing the history of the show. It's beautiful. This is why I try to read.
You got buyers and sellers, you know what I mean?
This is really boring. Very next comment. It's not even like it was in response to that part.
Yeah. It's okay, we're used to seeing that all the time.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Oh man, but that's too much. But there it is right there. Okay, is this boring enough for you? Bang, 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 as Robin Hood fall downside right there. And look.
You said it right, you can't please everybody, but guess what? I can probably please my...
Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to please. I'm just trying to put on the best show that we can and talk about different things. And I know sometimes stocks can be a little bit boring, and I'm just trying to give a little bit more, color to what we do around here. And so appreciate all of that, and I appreciate the negativity as well. I mean, some people don't like LeBron James, some people do. Some people like to eat 14 eggs a day. Some people like to eat 1 or 2 eggs a day. It's up to everybody's, whatever everybody's comfortable with, and doing all that, right? So the reason why we started the show was because trading tends to be a lonely game.
Oh,
and you said that, you said it yourself, sitting there trading at home, this and that.
Dude,
so
it felt so much better. You know what I mean? Like I was.
I got to stop this poll.
Oh yeah, that's still going.
Yeah, we were supposed to do that a long time ago. So all right. Oh boy, how many submissions have there been? A lot. Right now. So let's go see
How many submissions you got?
Right now, who's winning right now? So, all right, Robinhood right there. They want us to talk about. So Robinhood's at the top of the poll today. 42 mentions for Palantir, PLTR. Okay,
refresh it?
this is not even refreshed.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Sean. I just trade stocks, man. All right, so, Hello. Okay, now the numbers are getting real. Thank you, Fabian.
I'm curious how that correlates
right
with the top traded volume name.
Yeah, so right now, so what are we looking at right now? BBAI. All right, so let's have a look at that quickly because that's a name that, again, we got out of some yesterday. We talked about that. We basically did it live on the show. And then Tesla as well. Robinhood, we're in. Palantir Circle. Okay, so Obi, I will take BBAI. I'm already in Robinhood, so you're already in Amazon. So I'm going to give you the Webull, because we haven't looked at that.
All right,
And why don't you look at Circle because you paid for shorts. So we'll do that. We'll have a quick look. And then my look was going to be at Big Bear AI. And again, we talked about this name. You know I like this name. So, whoa, nice little move to the back end here on BBAI. Yeah, look, we looked at this yesterday. It made the sticky note the last 2 days because of the moves higher. It's gone now. I did have a order to break through this level. So I did have a buy order to go through $7.25. Unfortunately for the longs, but fortunately for me that didn't happen because it looks like it didn't want to go up today anyways. But yesterday afternoon, and again, let's just call it for what it is, man. Yesterday afternoon, I said Big Bear AI probably hits the skids in the afternoon. And that's exactly what it did. It went from $7.20, like basically not at this time, but earlier yesterday afternoon, I was talking about that. Once you find a top in a name like this that doesn't have really any catalysts, except for it's a 30% short float, and it was just sort of floating off of some plays that we thought were happening from last month, or early mid-June. Big Bear AI today did not get going. It, this is the pre-market, right? Right off the open, it just dumped and just kept on fading out. We did get a little bit of a retracement into VWAP right there, but then it dumped after that. And then 665 right there, tried to get through there. I would say that's not a horrible spot to start to maybe try a short if you like that into the close. I just don't see any momentum coming through here. The market seems to be pretty dead. The volume's really died off on Big Bear AI. So for me on this stock, I would stay away from this. There we go. We get a super chat from Walter Ford that does want us to talk about Circle. So there you go, Obi. So that's going to be on to you in just a couple seconds. But now that we review this, we go over and we look at a little bit of a longer time frame. This is your 5-minute chart. It's not going to be super exciting or anything either. But yeah, that's 665, a little bit of a dip there that gave it to us. Then there it is right there. So 670, 665, maybe an area for Big Bear AI. If you're looking on the daily chart, we've done this work a couple times for you last week and yesterday. This is where I thought we were going to get out. We're long at $4.20 in our own personal account. We bought 543. Average price was 4.25. And I thought, if we can get into 6 area, 625, that was a good spot. But we did break through that spot, so we don't have too much to worry about now on Big Bear AI because we did cash out of some of that yesterday. And yeah, it's been working out pretty good for me there in the long term in the swing account on that trade. But Big Bear AI right now just struggling to get through 7 and 8. I would say we could probably land in and around $5, honestly. I'd hate to say that, and I don't want to see a $5 take there, but I think Big Bear AI is probably somewhere in and around that area. 6 would be a good spot to maybe think about it, but I think 5 to 550 is a good area for Big Bear AI to start to load back up again, which is fine. That's different than where we're long. That's already $1 higher. So yeah, thanks for that. Big Bear AI wins the poll, but Circle and Webull. So looks like you have Webull all loaded up there.
Yeah, so I got Webull loaded up here. So again, this one was on my scanner last night. Again, doing relative volume, decently up on the day, roughly about, I guess, over 10%, coming in off of the open into the close. I was looking for that continuation today, but guess what? Maybe not today, because just sideways consolidation above prior day's highs. Nice little range lows here happening. I like that $12.03. A bunch of bottoms here. Can't really make it through past that $12 mark. Probably just consolidating around VWAP. Yeah, so again, we kind of saw this action on, I think it was Circle. So get that strong day and then consolidation. Let's see where this goes tomorrow and see what we can do with this range. Last I checked, Circle attempted to push a little bit past that range and kind of just trading, was just trading within it. Let's see, let's take a revisit and see what's happening there. So this is what I was talking about. So leg consolidation and another day of sideways consolidation. Off the open, looks like it's breaking some of these prior day lows. I guess the scalp was definitely there, but buyers kind of step right back in and bring it back to opening range highs. And interestingly enough, I guess now I'm noticing this just now, opening range highs acting as a little bit of a level here, and then maybe a little bit of a triple test with higher lows happening, VWAP holding pretty well as well. And then we get a step up and take a look at that. That resistance, 1, 2, 3 points, becomes into support for over, let's say, let's measure this, for over almost 2.5 hours here on Circle. So 185 looking a little bit interesting. Let's see if we can get to the range highs from prior day here at 192.50s with this little bit of a bid. But yeah, a little bit of a step up after failing to follow through on the low, on this low break here as well. I guess this low as well. And then pre-market, I guess how low is that low in the pre-market right there? So 171.50, 171.30. So only got 20 pennies to this this ultimate low that happened, I guess, on Friday in the pre-market. So that's the look on Circle, and we'll continue right after we get back from Madeira.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Trade the Pool. We got another behind-the-scenes look at Trade the Pool, but this time we're diving into the community side of Trade the Pool. As you know, each trader gets his or her own hub, and inside one, you'll find Trade Talk, a powerful charting and analysis space where traders map out strategies, break down setups, and share predictions with the community. And if you're looking for real-time interactions, the Trade the Pool Discord is where you have to visit. It's full of active traders sharing insights, trades, and tips to grow together. At Trade the Pool, you're not trading alone. You're joining a firm that invests in your growth, technically, mentally, and financially. Head to tradethepool.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Dara. Yeah, check out Trade the Pool. I want to thank Mitch for coming through again this AM. And he was talking about some uranium plays, and I don't know. He came to me. I was going to talk about our hats, and the next thing you know, it was like a 5 or 10 minute segment there.
That was good.
With Mitch there. And that's when Brendan told me, he sent me a message. Too long, he said.
Oh boy.
I was like, Jesus Christ, too long. Okay, Brendan. Okay, so right into there. Robinhood. So we did come back up to the 200 period moving average. Look, we can't just sit on all these. We can sit on these trades. I now do have 5% left only of this. We were able to get out of basically 5% there. We had 10% left. So 5% there, we just got out of like 2 or 3% again. So we have very, very small amounts left here on Robinhood. Just almost not even worth talking about. I'm thinking about just getting out of this if we break like anywhere around here. Let's just get out if it breaks 92.60. Okay, I don't even have any stop orders out anymore because I canceled it. 92.61, breakout, 100% out. We'll get out if that does have an out there on Robinhood. Okay, so that's going to be my out there. I did want to check back in on Apple real quick, just because it was a mover early. This is going to be my P&L #1 name on the day. It's not even close. We're actually going to run the gauntlet and be perfect today on as far as the P&L is concerned, because we only traded 4 names, and we're going to go 4 for 4. So we traded Apple long there today. And again, this was always part of the plan. This was on the sticky note, the trade #1 there. So that was kind of like a easy peasy trade. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then this one, again, another sticky note trade. And if you're wondering about what these notes are, I apologize for those of you that already know, but I'm just going to show it anyways. Right here, 55,000 of you, 52,000, sorry. There it is. Where is it? No. We put this out every single day around 8:30 or so. And there it is, AMD 140 to 142 short. AMD, and then there's the TQs that I'm about to discuss, 8250 as well. So 8250 on the TQs, 140 short there on AMD. The Tesla 303 short, we can look at that in a minute, but then there's Apple. So the only one that we didn't trade on here was Tesla, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But there's AMD. That 140, we were just sitting there. It came in right away off the open, and boom goes the dynamite. So that was out. I actually forgot that I had that order there at 137.50. Otherwise, we could have had even a better trade, but still 250 there on AMD. You guys all saw me take and talk about this Robinhood trade, so that's another one right there that we put in. And then the final trade, and we talked about the TQ trade, we wrote down 82.50. That's 82.50 right there. Bang, and then nice move down in. Unfortunately, like we said, man, we had left for the pool at this time, and I just didn't have any orders down there. We should have. We came back, punched out there at 80.75, basically the same level, because we were above the 50 period. Then we tried to go short against VWAP, tried, and then it broke. And then that's that. So yeah, all of our trades working out, but it's 4 for 4 on the names. We do have, like, that trade didn't work out right there, right? So not all the trades are going to work out, but as far as a profitability standpoint, yes, today's a very green day, and we're pretty happy to be trading all that with you guys here. We had Jeff Mendel on as well, talking about the OTC markets, some Fannie Mae, some Freddie Mac. Those aren't really doing too much today. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had the Bill Ackman push for a while there, and then also Donald Trump also looking to get some money back in for the government there, looking to bring back Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So if you look back here, November, this is obviously election time. This was $2, $3. But heading into the election, this was $1. So Fannie Mae, there we go. We just got stopped out of Robinhood. So that's your chicken dinner winner right there. That's enough of that. Let's just do this. A little loud on that, but that's okay. This was $1, and same with FMCC. Right, big time movements back there to the upside, trying to unlock some value there. We had a huge push. Bill Ackman published a paper and whatnot, and nice move to the upside. Now we're starting to fade back out, but Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, both really interesting names to trade over on the OTC markets. They do about, when they're cooking, they'll do 20 or 30 million, even more than that. But today, 3.5, that's Fannie Mae. So just a little bit of a downside push. And then FMCC as well. A lot of traders, here we can't trade these in registered accounts because they're OTC, but, they trade individually, but yet the same. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac both down 3.5% over there. And then the other name, which I did not clean up, was NT. Oh, you said, have I checked out Nintendo on a weekly?
Yeah.
This is a daily, so this looks pretty okay to me on a daily.
Check it out on the weekly.
I'm not sure what I'd see on a weekly, but there was barcoding right there. Yeah. And then finally the break. Right now, maybe it looks like it may be potentially breaking out, but didn't Nintendo just release the Switch? And I don't think it went over that well, but the Switch 2, I don't know, Fabian, you tell me if gamers are liking the Switch 2, but yeah. I guess that's not really a gamer console, right? That's more family-based and all those kind of things, but I'm going to clean this up, this data. See, we have the low is not 1940. Let's go with 2331 again and see if that works. There it is. So this is what the chart looks like today for Nintendo. Yeah, go ahead.
A big thing. So again, the Nintendo trade. Oh boy, there goes Amazon, man. Again, I did get a little aggressive on that push, and I covered pretty much everything for 10 pennies. And then I was like, because I'm like, this isn't going. I'm looking for it to go right away, and I'm like, this is not really going. That's not really going. And then I just had to wait a couple more seconds. It was nothing. But you know what? It is what it is. Covered most of it, leaving a little bit on. Let's see what happens with that one. But yeah, no, Nintendo is a co-owner and publisher of Pokemon, and Pokemon has been going absolutely crazy. I don't know if you've seen the lines in front of Costco where there are people just lining up and maybe potentially waiting for hours as well, because the flip game on some of these Pokemon cards is going absolutely crazy, right? And then everything keeps on getting sold out. I don't know if that's adding to the bid, regardless of what that is. I just remember looking at Nintendo's weekly chart and just being like, oh boy. So yeah, I just want to, maybe we should pull that up. Nintendo. So right here, we can probably see, on the OTC. So we'll get rid of this VWAP right here. You can see that it does a pretty decent amount of relative volume, about 1 million shares on the 30-day average, 1.8, about 2 million shares a day almost, 112 million market cap on the OTC. So let's go quickly to a weekly chart and take a look at what this thing has been up to. So look at this absolute beauty here. So if you like gaming, Nintendo based out and was doing nothing. Talk about a rounded bottom here from, I guess, 2012 to about 2015. And since then, higher highs and higher lows. Now, I don't know if this is adjusted for splits or what have you. take a look at this gain that Nintendo has had. So if you believed in Nintendo, even growing up, you know, a little bit of a bid stair step happening, over 1,000% from 2015 to 2025. So 1,000% in about 10 years is what the chart is kind of showing us here. Decent look at that volume coming in 2016, gap up, hold, continuation. Absolutely beautiful there. Let me know if you guys know any other stocks that are up over 1,000% in 10 years, obviously not including things like some of the market leaders, right? But Nintendo's strong stock to say the least here. So let's take a quick look at what's happening. So Amazon pulling back in. I like the hold of that 120, 122 area here. I was looking at this push. I was trying to short. Again, if you guys were here, I was like, I'm trying to short. We got this aggressive selling and kind of held a prior level. So when this buying stopped, I was like, all right, well, you know, I want to take a little bit of a short here, see if we revert to the mean right away. I'm looking for it to kind of pull back in just as fast as it kind of went up, looking for that symmetry maybe on this price action, but didn't really get it right away. So again, maybe that's definitely, I can do a little bit better on that, but it's showing a little bit of symmetry right now. This is a 3-minute chart here, and let's see if it can get down almost just as fast as it got up there. But again, trending to the upside, very strong on the day. I did like it earlier because I was like, the market's kind of looking like it's slowing down, and maybe this prior high is false breaking. But retrospect, looking back at it, you can see that this range high from the morning session held pretty well as support. And even on the strong pullback that I was trying to get short on, it held as support once again. And when it came back up, I didn't even give it to my stop at day high. I was just like, all right, well, I'm not really going to fight that. If it's going to show me that this level hold is doing really well, I'm going to let that bid come in, let it show me that, okay, we're kind of done over here right now. And then try again for a little bit of a pullback here. So potentially coming in, but again, that's 10, 20 pennies. Excuse me, nothing too crazy relative to how much Amazon has in terms of a range here. So where is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. Deli Bite saying STRL. Never heard of that one there. So let's take a quick look at that one. So Sean, this is the weekly chart. We were talking about the weekly chart on Nintendo, and this little flat bottom, or this little rounded bottom, was about from 2011 to 2015. We get a bit of a gap up in 2016, and then up over, I guess in the past 10 years, up over 1,000% on Nintendo.
Huge.
So that's pretty huge there, and yeah, definitely pushing into some all-time high areas. Yeah, what was I gonna look at? STRL, yes. So what is this stock here? So Sterling Infrastructure. Let's see how much volume we're doing on the day. Oh boy, only 400K. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to you know, mess around with this one too much here, but yeah, I like things that are liquid. I like things that are a little bit more, you know, manageable in terms of you know, pushing into some size and maybe scalability as well. So interesting look there, but I think we have something going on right now.
Yeah, we do. We always have something going on over here. But we have an ad for you with eSignal. We just want to remind everybody that if you are looking for weekly charts like Obi was just looking at there, no better place to find them than on eSignal. Scan that QR code because your first month is free. That's brought to you by Tradertv.live. If you scan that QR code, they're going to give you their platform for free, infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, and game-changing charts. Predict it with backtest, the backtesting tools. Reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute all your best trades today. Grab it now on eSignal from us. Scan that QR code. And again, we're talking about overnight trading and Japanese markets and OTC markets. And some platforms don't have all of the symbols. And you can, again, whatever market you're looking at, you can entitle yourself and get over there with eSignal. Have some fun over there and make the best of your trading journey by using the best tools. And I always think that that's pretty important. So, what's up, eh?
Guys, be aware Figma is apparently filing for its IPO. Now, if this name sounds familiar, Adobe actually tried to acquire them recently for $20 billion. Their valuation, Figma's current valuation, at least most recently, was around $12.5 billion. That was about a year ago. I'm not sure what the current valuation is, but either way, just be aware, Figma here filing to go public through an IPO on the NYSE. And apparently they would be trading under the ticker FIG, F-I-G. If I get any more details, I'll let you know. But yeah, be aware here, F-I-G, new ticker. Don't know when they're going to start trading. Back to you.
Yeah. Oh boy, IPO season.
So now, and that was denied by, I think it was the FTC or something, not the FTC, but somebody came in there and FTC denied that. And now Adobe can just buy all the shares in the open market and take them over. But no, we'll wait to see what happens there. Discord's another interesting name that we wait for. We know that Microsoft had a play on Discord at one point, and that's the one. Klarna was shelved, so I don't know when and if that one's coming back or not. Tesla's going for a little bit of a run here. I don't know what's going on there. The market kind of doing nothing, and Tesla kind of doing this. So that's a nice little move there for TSLA as we try to figure out this on it. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, this is probably a decent look. I just don't like, there's only 10 minutes left until the imbalances now. So we're getting near the end of the day. I just don't think it's super wise to put on any other big positions. I mean, I think there's always a position to be put on. Robinhood, we did get stopped out, and we're not feeling too great about that stop out. But again, feeling good about it in a way that it matches our plan. We talked about what we wanted to do if it broke the 200 period moving average, and the market could have kept ripping, right? If anything, the mistrade is right into there, reshorting the TQQs or the futures as we went up into view up and then the fade back down there. That could have been and should have been a play, I feel like. We missed it. So I missed that trade right there. A name was Boeing. We didn't really get too much coverage. Well, we had coverage on it, but not too much after effects of that unfortunate incident with the Air India plane. That was this move back down in. And I mean, again, if you're looking at charts or looking at something, you would be able to see that it held the 50-period moving average. Now, I think it's always tough, and we had talked about this as it was happening. It's really tough to get into a name when there's so many uncertainties, especially when you're talking about loss of life and fatalities and airplane and all that kind of stuff. So, but Boeing right now, if it can sort of survive, whatever comes of, that investigation, this is a good name, I think, down here, especially with tariff talk and things like that. I mean, July 8th and 9th, there's no extension on these deadlines. I mean, Trump came out today and said no to Japan. That someone asked him about, like, how close are you? Not that close. Are you going to give an extension? No. And the tariffs will be likely in the 30 to 35% range. So that's going to be a lot higher than expected. So I just thought China, even maybe Japan, the UK, different places could, reach out olive branch by buying more planes from Boeing. I always thought that was a possibility there. We do know that Boeing has big NASA contracts and things like that. So with more spending coming out, Boeing could be a winner in this environment. What's up, Adara?
I'm going to provide some more context on Boeing because there actually was some news on it earlier today. Apparently, one of the spokespeople for the company said they're still interested in acquiring Spirit AeroSystems, which is, of course, one of their suppliers. But also, last night, so this morning they announced that Stephen Parker is going to be their new CEO of Defense, Space, and Security. Last night, Boeing actually announced a bit of a CFO transition, which is pretty interesting. Their current CFO is going to become a senior advisor to Kelly Ortberg, who is, of course, their CEO. So their former CFO becoming a senior advisor to their CEO. Their new CFO is going to be Jesus Malave. So yeah, Boeing here with some executive transitions, kind of interesting just because you guys were talking about it. I wanted to provide a little bit of context. Back to you. Great.
Well, that's the stuff, we can't get enough of that stuff. Yeah, Adara coming through with some more information there, so thanks, Adara, for that one. And yeah, good look on Boeing. We won't trade it here today, but yeah, I like the name. I think it has a spot in my portfolio as well. So yeah, I like Boeing down here for sure. What was the news, Adara, today? I mean, again, look at this, just putting back to work. No, Starbucks. This move was, and I just, maybe there was no news today, but up 4%. It's just the way this was going here early, it was almost like there was a deal stuck with China that includes no tariffs. Okay, perfect. No news. Tariff on caffeine or something like that. But huge move to the upside there for Starbucks. It just looks like a break. It's probably a level break somewhere. So I've really liked this name, but not in it anymore. Was in this name for a while. Coming up into the 200 period moving average. We had talked about this fade here at 116, and, that was a really good one right back in. And we were talking about this before the tariffs just because of where it was, where it was and how far away from the 200 and from the 50-period moving average that this name exactly was. And then, yeah, since then, nice move down, nice move back up here for Starbucks as Howard Schultz coming through and trying to rearrange. Old CEO Howard Schultz, the guy from Chipotle, Brian Nickel, now in trying to do better for Starbucks shareholders. So we'll wait to see. They're trying to change some of the culture over there. And yeah, looking like it's going to be good. I thought there was going to be some more deals and so on and so forth, hitting apps and stuff like that. I think that's what he was talking about a little bit, but we'll wait to see what happens there for Starbucks, trying to be a little more affordable in there. But Starbucks, nice move up. I really like it. And again, another possible play there. Yeah, Luckin Coffee. That's, yeah, LKNCY. Thank you so much, DJ there. LKNCY. This is a name that I'll look at often if I'm looking at pink sheets, but don't trade it too much, but wow, what a story Luckin Coffee's been. This came down to the Nasdaq when it was delisted like at $2 or $3. Now it's just really matured itself out. This is the Starbucks rival there in China. And of course, YouTube's not in China, so I can't ask anybody watching this that's in China. If you are, congratulations on getting a VPN to work. Yeah, imagine what Trader TV Live could be if we get China on board here, and how many.
Huge.
There's a lot of day traders in China, that is for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be great to have some Chinese exposure here on the show. But Luckin Coffee, again, what a monster. I don't even want to look at a weekly chart of this one, Obi. I know that's your thing, but this would probably be absolutely huge.
Look at all
yeah, you got to look at all the time frames for sure. But yeah, great success story there. So yeah, if caffeine's working in Luckin Coffee, it's probably also working at Starbucks. So nice move up there for Luckin. And great call out by DJ. It looks like it is breaking those highs. Make sure you do get into our channel on YouTube, because you want to be a subscriber so you can be part of the chat to see exactly what we're talking about right now. 502 likes. I didn't even hit it yet. That's obviously low. We're always at about that 10%. So right now, 500, 10%. I like that. See if we can get a little bit more though. Hit the like and subscribe if you have not yet. And thanks, DJ. Really great point there in the chat about LKNCY. I hadn't looked at this name in a long time. Really working out. So I would say Starbucks is a long. We said the same thing there for Nike today, as Nike caught the upgrade early, and again, breaking out, right? Nike, there goes Nike again, right? I thought a couple of kitchen sink quarters there where they blaming tariffs, rightfully so, couldn't predict the future. All right, and then they come out and they beat, and still not much of a guide, but nice move up there for Nike. And you could see, look at the 200 period, right? Boom, 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 boom. So definitely on watch right now for Nike. Last time we hit up here, we had faded, then a big, huge fade there back in March and April. And right now, just trying to get its footing back for Nike. I don't really like too many retail names other than Amazon, as we talked about. That has a big spot in the portfolio, so I would stay away. I'm going to just throw it over to Obi, but I do want to look at the imbalances just real quickly here, see if there's any early looks. Oh, Wolf, we forgot to, so I had Wolf breaking through 110, that high of the day there, does not come, that's 95 now, does not come back over $1. We like to look at names over $1. I bet you this opens over $1 tomorrow. So let's wait to see what happens with Wolf overnight. Snapchat there, Teladoc has been an interesting name there as well. I think they were added to some sort of an index the last couple months. Pfizer, Southwest, Snapchat. So yeah, no big bear AI. This is what the early look is right now on the imbalances, but they all become public in a matter of 4 minutes, and then all that instead of broker. So this information is coming from our broker, so like a little bit of an inside information there. That's what we're looking for. But once it's all published, we'll get the Nasdaq and NYSE at 350. So we'll have a much clearer look at what's going on at 350 under 4 minutes now, Obi.
Yes, sir. So I just want to point out here, thank you, Carney, in the chat. So doing a little bit of work here, saying, remember I was like, okay, find me a stock other than some of the market leaders that's up over 1,000%. And he's saying, FYI, Nvidia is up approximately 26,000%, followed by APLD, AMD, and Shopify. So thank you for that one. And then mentioning some more here. QUBT up 3,775%, AVGO 2,200%, and MSTR over 2,100%. So absolutely crazy. Thank you, Carney, for putting in that work there and letting us know some of the crazy runners of the past, I guess. Some of them the past couple of years as well, right? Past year, some of those. QUBT, one of them is for sure. So getting a little scalpy action there. So I did cover a little early, like I mentioned before, but then kind of coming back into some of these lows. I did get a little bit, I guess I wouldn't say aggressive, but a little scalpy there. So I kind of covered on the 221 hold as we're pushing right back up. I'm like, all right, well, you know, I only want to stick around as long as it'll have me there. And yeah, that 221 hold, pretty nice. Holding that consolidation above that opening, not really opening a range high, but the morning session high right there in the first hour. The high was that 220 and some change, 220.50 if you want to call it, roughly in that area. And you can see this consolidation later on in the day holding pretty well. So don't necessarily want to fight it. And I heard somebody in the chat was saying, oh yeah, Obi's shorting the strongest stock, or one of the strongest stocks in the market. Yeah, a little bit of a counter trend, right? There's definitely a lot of people on the other side of that trade. So well, we'll see how that one works out. But again, got to stay nimble. I do find myself getting into trouble when I'm not with the trend and I'm aggressively continuing to add on this trade. But again, trying to get a little bit better every day with the counters and really focused maybe a little bit on the reversals. But no real sign of reversion on Amazon just yet. Like I'm piecing into it, looking for that confirmation to really come in. But until then, I'm just taking maybe shorter time frame confirmations, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to do in the longer term. So got to stay as nimble as possible and try to follow that trend as much as possible as well. Coming into these imbalances, only about a minute left here, Sean. So I got to pull up some of these and let's see. I'm curious to know, how do we come in with some of those imbalances? First day of the month, right? We saw some crazy closes on Friday with a little bit of rebalancing action, and maybe nothing too crazy on the close yesterday, but there was definitely a little bit of spice there. But first of the month, let's see if anything is in store for us here. Not really seeing anything too crazy on the early looks, but only about 30 seconds left for these ones.
Yeah, I didn't even realize, thank you, CJD in the chat there, Webull today gets up to $13. Like, we're, you know, monster trade there. We're long at 11 flat, and we put it on the show. We talked about it, a name that we really like. I will go over it a little bit more. I just want to see what happens here with only 10 seconds to go. Let's go over to Apple. I feel like there could be an imbalance on Apple today. So here you go, 1, 2, and go. It's Google right there. It's not Apple. It's NVIDIA right there with a buy. So there goes NVIDIA up to 154. Let's have a look at that. Snapchat AM's here. There's, oh, wow, look, we almost got it. Apple, the number 2 name on there. So there goes Apple, but not really moving around too much. Again, almost 70 million shares, only a million shares there for Apple on the buy. Cisco, Google there, sell, buy for Cisco, sell for Google. Load, yeah, no, oh, actually it does gap down in there, 175.50, so that's gapping. It wasn't Halliburton, it was Hasbro that was on our list as well. Snapchat, love, NVIDIA. So it's really just NVIDIA right now trying to go hard. And it made that move up to 154.50, but again, 100. Wow, NVIDIA doing 100. What's the average daily volume? Does it show it easily on your chart there?
Yeah,
I could try to look it up. I don't have a thing for me right now.
3, 2, 1, go, race.
Yeah,
Average 30-day volume is 206 million.
Oh, 206. Okay, I thought 181 was relatively high, but I guess it's low today because I was like 181 million on like a sort of a holiday week seemed kind of strong, but I guess not. Okay, so
it's doing rough.
all right, so NVIDIA doing under our vol right now, I guess, right? All right, so other than that, there's Wolf. I see there as a little sell, but again, this one, half a billion shares, 500 million shares right now on Wolf speed, so that's not going to affect it anyway, up or down anyways. So yeah, that's about it, man. I'm not even going to look at Pfizer. That's not a big number for them. We see them all the time on here. So yeah, it's a pretty good day for these imbalances. Adair always gives us sort of the total there. The market was 1.1 billion to buy. That's a good number, but not, nothing that's too crazy there. So the overall market was a buy side there, with Mag 7 representing a third of that number. So yeah, not much going on elsewhere. That's Pfizer. We did have a quick look at Webull. My call on that, look, to go from 11 to 13, I mean, that's 17 or 18%. That would have been good to take that. But I think Webull's just getting started, man. I mean, you're a couple announcements away, similar to what we had on Robinhood there. Why can't all of these companies just sort of tokenize, get into crypto, offer different discounts on trading or whatever they're going to do? I think Webull has a bigger story to tell. So we'll wait to see where that's going. And again, I like to see a quarter. Webull just IPO'd. So Webull just came out in April. So we'll wait for their next quarterly report, which is scheduled for, actually, I still got to go over there and open up the layout for the after show. Join Adara, myself, and Brian Shannon as we'll just sort of recap what was going on today for you. So 2% short flow. What I'm looking for is the calendar. So they go Q1. Oh, nope, we're looking down here. We have to wait till August 23rd. So we already got their May 22nd report had already come through. So that's Q1. But we're going to wait to see what happens next time. August 23rd. So we're going to have to wait for a minute there for Webull there, Obi. And when they come out, then we'll figure it out. But right now, I'm gonna hold on to Webull. I think we can break through 13. I mean, up another 5% today. That's nice. Nice story there for Webull.
Yeah, no. Again, I think I'm excited for that. That chart definitely looking like it's basing out as of right now, and we got that first strong day yesterday. A little bit of a consolidation today, so maybe it's finally going to start to catch some legs here. Going into the later half of the year, and again, maybe it's a trading platform. It's a broker, right? So it's like we've seen what some of these brokers who are providing some crypto services as well are doing, and maybe it's catching a bid off of that. Yeah, but the chart definitely looks a little bit nice here. But yeah, no, I got a potential question for Mr. Brian Shannon. There as well, if you can pass that on for me during the market recap.
Sure,
show.
what is it?
So I remember a couple days ago he was pointing out that circle anchored VWAP, and I'm like, yes, solid. A lot of players definitely have that anchored VWAP off of the IPO, and finally for the past couple of days we've come into it. We're consolidating in and around it. So my question is, what his opinion is on the different iterations of price action we could potentially see from this VWAP interaction that we're getting on Circle, and what he thinks are the highest probability kind of follow-throughs or situations that
how long are you going to be here? After hours?
I'll be here. I mean,
the reason I ask is we can put the
camera
camera right on you.
Sure, yeah, I can ask the question.
If you want to ask it, introduce you to Brian and see if you want to do that?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked before.
Oh, no, I know, but I mean, you have talked to Brian before? I wasn't sure.
Okay,
yeah. Oh, there's nothing to be, all right, if you're going to stay.
Oh boy, what's happening now?
All right,
the market just dumped, and I was already short here. So, oh boy, coming into that imbalance right here. So, you know what? I will just cover. That was a little crazy there. That went all the way down to 220 halves. And I was like, all right, this imbalance is not really taking this anywhere. And all of a sudden, 55 pairing event brings us down, slaps it down 50 pennies right there. So thank you, come again. I'm not going to ask for more on that one there. Luckily didn't take out my stop on the other side. So a little lucky with that one there. Let's see if that follow through does come in here on Amazon. Relatively strong, one of the strongest ones on the day today. But yeah, a little bit of a breather maybe in store. Don't know when it's going to come in. We could get that strong continuation as well. I just want to take a look at a higher time frame chart here. Let's go up to like a 30-minute or an hour and just take a look at what Amazon's been kind of doing, because it's kind of lagging behind relative to its peers in the Mag 7 here. So let's start off with, we'll start off with a weekly and then drop it down from there. Right here, so 242 halves. That's the weekly, that's the high right there. And you can see not quite there near the highs like some of its friends, but going back down to say like an hourly, let's take a quick look at that and see how it's been stair-stepping back up into that level. So yeah, April bid, like we've seen on a lot of these stocks, nice little consolidation hold, step up off of, that's a post-earnings gap up. Nice, interesting. And that 200, we were consolidating around that 200 or above that 200 for a little bit right there. And if you guys remember, that was that Bezos level right there. Didn't really, I guess there was a little bit of interaction when we came back below it. We got a little bit back in on top of it as well. Again, being, I would say, a historical support and resistance level. And when it does respect, it seems like it respects it pretty well. So been stepping up nicely, a little bit of an uptrend and much more relatively strong on the day today than the rest of the market. But you can see yesterday a little bit of a dead cat bounce as well, selling off pretty aggressively after gapping up. Again, I was here. I was like, I'm watching Amazon. I'm watching Google because of the crazy imbalance that they had going into the Friday close, going into the end of the month. We had some, I think it was Russell rebalances and things like that. And we got some aggressive moves, not only on Amazon, guys, we had it on Google. So Google, again, if you guys were here yesterday, I got a little chopped up trying to take that continuation, and I was very strung on that continuation coming in, and yeah, I got a little bit hurt on that one there, but that's okay. We come back stronger the next day, and that's what it is, right? So didn't really get that kind of action that I was looking for, but today distinctly different, right? If you're like, oh, we just consolidated, we dead cat bounce, looking for that pop coming in, looking distinctly different than that of Amazon. We actually had continuation of some selling off of the open there, and Amazon again distinctly different of that. But maybe catching a little bit of a sell back down towards VWAP. 220s was where I was trying to take it to pretty much for a good portion of the afternoon. It seems like finally off of these imbalances or going into the close, whatever you want to call it, some of that volume coming in finally into the market, bringing it back down a little bit right there. So about to come into that opening a 1 hour range high as of right now. We saw that last time it slammed down into it right here on the 3 o'clock candle. It held pretty well as well. So curious to know what that does. Maybe gives us a little bit of information for a potential continuation for the next day. PLTR getting dip buyers saying Joseph Schmo. Okay, so all right, so let's take a quick look at Joe Schmo here. 128 halves is the day low, a little bit of a higher low. This was interesting right here, that right there. A little bit of a I guess, aggressive sell-off again on Friday, and we're consolidating in and around that level right now. So selling definitely still strong amongst these references right here. This is what I was looking at yesterday. Guess what? A little bit of a false break and continuation. Again, much bigger picture stuff. Sometimes I'm starting to notice and realize that sometimes the price action that I'm looking for may not be present on the time frame that I'm looking for it in. Again, if you're seeing this maybe area as a great place to sell, the sell doesn't come in necessarily strong on the intraday yesterday, but follow through definitely coming in on the day today, Sean. So, oh boy, there's only about 10-15 seconds left here, and the market is pulling back in towards some of those opening range levels. So interestingly enough, oh boy, there goes Amazon to the downside, and 5, 4, 3,
Where's our countdown?
2, and 1. Thank you very much. And the bell brought to you by Origenics. Make sure you
Fabian, the
check
countdown didn't work.
The countdown, I think I was supposed to hit it, and by the time I realized,
it's automatic.
Oh, is it automatic now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I usually end up hitting it anyways, and I'm just like, I saw
you turned it
5
off.
seconds.
Oh no, you didn't hit it at all.
Okay.
Did you hit it at all?
No, I didn't hit it at all.
Okay, I was wondering if you turned it off.
It's going to be obsolete saying Fabian.
All right, so today is, it's obsolete, okay. Today we have STZ, Constellation, coming we have it coming around 4:30. So we'll see if STZ reports tonight for us live on the show. But we are scheduled. He has not messaged me. We are scheduled to have Brian Shannon on from Alpha Trend. So we'll talk to him. If you're going to hang around, I'm going to throw to you for the circle question. So that should be great. All right, Obi, great show today. I'm going to go head over there. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the like and the subscribe. It's Obi and I tomorrow. And then we go half day on Thursday with a new kind of a fun format right there. We're going to go, I think you and I are just going to 10.
Okay.
And we're going 10 to 12. With the Bash Bros, and then you and I are coming back 12 to 1:30.
Okay.
So that should be a lot of fun there on Thursday. But tomorrow, full day, and we should be here. Happy Canada Day to everybody. I'm going to head over and get ready to go. But happy Canada Day to everybody. Stay tuned for the market recap show. Darren and I will try to review as many sectors as we can and have some interesting talk and some fun times. And Obi's going to join us with Brian. So I'll be right back.
Yeah. I'll hold them for you while you guys get ready right here. So, oh boy, okay. What does Canada Day represent? Is it like the 4th of July here? Asking David. Yeah, kind of like that, right there. So, yeah, I'm not too, I guess, well versed in terms of the historical details right there. I definitely, I wouldn't say I failed history class, but I probably wasn't paying as much attention as I should have there. So, yeah, no, look at that Amazon coming right back into that 220 halves as of right now. So that level again showed us a little bit earlier on in the morning, kind of consolidation lows here in the afternoon, and then that slammed down off of, if you want to call them imbalances or anything like that. The volume that comes into the market going into the close, slamming us down into that level and stalling as of right now. So interesting stuff. I'm going to be watching that 220 and that 220.5 on Amazon for that potential continuation, and maybe that 185 on Circle as well today. Yeah, so maybe we'll get a theme song. I think Sean definitely is onto something with that roll that comes in for the midday show. I think that is really, really cool. Take it easy, Andre. Thank you again for all the awesome work that you do. NVIDIA, a little bit of size coming here on that 153. So we reclaimed that 150 pretty well. That flush was pretty aggressive. I wasn't necessarily around for this flush into that 151.5s, but a beautiful reversion back to VWAP nonetheless. But yeah, I think these guys are ready for us there at the big desk. So I will leave you guys here, but stick around. Don't go anywhere. We got Adara, we got Sean, we got Brian Shannon, maybe me myself as well with a little bit of a question. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Stick around for the market recap.
All right, thank you, Obi. Yeah, it's Adair and myself here, ready to give you all of the earnings, which apparently is one. We have Constellation today, STZ, so we're going to run those numbers when they come through. We also have the news in our ear. We're going to be scanning everything. If anything does hit the markets here in the after, in the post-market, then we'll bring it to you and we'll show you if there's anything dropping down. But yeah, again, happy Canada Day to everybody that's here celebrating. And then July 4th, of course, we're off, which happens to land on a Friday, so that's really nice. Any plans? Going back home or anything?
What, for the weekend?
Yeah, Independence Day.
No plans at all. I will be living life.
Nice 3-day weekend.
Yeah, hopefully doing some 3.5-day weekend, I guess. Hopefully doing some writing, and I don't know. I made an appointment, but I'm probably going to cancel it. What about you? You doing anything?
No, the kids are doing some sort of a thing at the Brickworks where it's like a climbing.
Is that
outdoor.
like the distillery? No, it's that other kind of winey, beery area.
Yeah, it's east side, but it's still in downtown Toronto there. And they're doing a bunch of stuff like that. And then I like going on a brunch date. Like
brunches are I love brunches. Yeah. Like literally, if I could eat brunch food all the time.
We're kid-free from 9 to 3, so we'll figure out something to do then. But yeah, thanks, Adair. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy it. So I don't know, put whatever you guys are doing on 4th of July, put it in there. It's always nice to have picnics, see your family and things like that. But today is Canada Day, so big parties happening just down the street from us here right now at Queen's Park and all throughout. We're going to see fireworks tonight. So
nice. Where are they?
Fun. Just in Etobicoke, so not too far, near the airport. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll have some fun going there. But today's the first day of the second half of 2025. And it doesn't necessarily start off with a bang, does it? I mean, today the Qs were down almost 1%, down near 1% at its lows. But there it is right there. We open up today near all-time highs. And there's a little bit of a drop down today, especially near the end of the day as the Nasdaq kind of fell out there on some of those imbalances. The last 10 minutes brought us back down into the downside there for the Nasdaq, finishing only down 1%. Of course, today we had Fed Chair Powell come out and say, hey, maybe there is a chance for a rate cut if the data supports it, but the CME Fed rate tool is still at 78% for July the 30th. So still not looking like the market is pricing in a rate cut. I think if we do get one, the market does spike, and then I think that would help with that sort of Powell's a moron comment, and I think that could come to an end, hopefully, if there is that rate cut, but right now not really looking too positive for that. Tesla today, obviously a downside move as well, Adara, as Tesla leads the way out of all the big cap names, down 5.5%. Some talk, again, stupid talk really, of between Trump and Elon again. Elon just voicing his opinion on that big, beautiful bill, but Donald comes out and says, well, hey, maybe we got to get Doge looking at your companies.
Or deport you.
Yeah,
that was the other thing.
Yeah, the deporting part, I don't know. Can Elon really get deported?
I actually looked into it. I was telling Sharif I did a deep dive.
Right,
now,
okay.
Not to get super technical about it, but Elon Musk is a naturalized citizen. So apparently it's like once you're naturalized, it's pretty difficult to get rid of your citizenship, of course, because you're a citizen. But as of like yesterday, apparently the Trump administration is trying to get in some new legislation that would actually allow you to potentially be deported as a naturalized citizen if you committed a crime. So now, if Trump finds some kind of criminal evidence on Elon, I guess he would have a very convoluted loophole, but there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in that statement. So, I mean, candies and nuts, we know the saying. Probably inconsequential, but I think worth noting regardless. I also want to say here, it's pretty interesting. He called Powell a moron twice in like a 5-second radius today. But what's interesting, too, is even today during the ECB forum, it's really interesting. All of the federal bank leaders backed Jerome Powell. They said they wouldn't do anything differently than how they did it if they were in his situation. And furthermore,
a bunch of morons, all those guys.
Powell was also asked, like, if there weren't tariffs, would you cut rates? And he's like, I mean, yeah, probably we'd be able to. Like, he tried to skirt it. Yeah. He didn't word it so directly, but it's interesting. It's like what Trump actually wants is being suffocated by his favorite word, tariffs, exactly. Which he's actually said.
And I think that, at the end of the day, come next May, it will be Powell will be gone unless something changes and he sticks on. But again, we already looked at the Fed rate tool. It's about 1% cut by the time next May comes around from where we are right now. Trump's already called for 2 points, so I guess he's not going to get that. And plus, there's a little bit of trolling going on there. I'm sure Trump is playing the media as he usually does. But there's Tesla today. It was a great trade, man. 305. That short right here for Tesla. There he is. Yeah, block.
Oh, Constellation Energy, Constellation Brands earnings.
It's out. STZ is out. STZ. Okay, so STZ we were looking for 3.38 EPS revenue estimate of 2.58 billion. But yes, Adair, this is a 15. There's a daily chart for STZ, not doing very well on the daily, getting hit again. When you're a consumer brand, you are going to get hit when there's especially strong tariff talk. Right there, if we go into a 1-minute chart, there goes STZ from 166 down to 161.50, implied move of 6%. Doesn't look that bad, Adair, but what kind of numbers do we have anyways?
Okay, let's get over it. So it's a double miss here, again, as you just said here, but I want to talk about the year over year. So apparently they had a drop here in net sales of 6% on a year-over-year basis, as far as I'm seeing. We also have, I guess, a 24% decrease here in operating income. I guess in this case, they're saying operating loss, or I guess operating income or losses. 41% decrease, it looks like, net income attributable to share or attributable to CBI. I'm only seeing decreases here on a year-over-year basis, guys. I need time to go over this report because right now I'm just reading off their PDF, which is in very small font. But either way, I'm only ever seeing year-over-year decreases. Their wine and spirits organic net sales, they're guiding a decline of 17 to 20%.
Right. So a lot of that, I was thinking about that with the wine and beer, drinking. Just with the way that the whole sort of cannabis area is going there with gummies and things like that, and blah blah blah, and plus the Ozempic and some of those GLP-1s is depressing alcohol cravings. So I think that story's probably baked in a little bit, but it is interesting to hear 17% down year over year on alcohol. Is that what it was? Alcohol sales, 17%?
Wine and beer, yeah.
Wine and beer, okay, alcohol enough. Their spirits, I don't know if they're going down or not, but wine, alcohol getting hit there for the GLP-1 craze. But yeah, nice downside play there for STZ. But you know what, 5% move, not really happening right there. So that was what was expected. So not bad numbers overall. Anyways, we try to stay, I was just talking about that in the chat. We try to stay politics neutral. I'll throw out some shade on Trump sometimes. I was saying, I didn't appreciate all that moron talk and things like that. But at the same time, we're just trying to report the news. So I'm trying to stay as, unbiased as possible. Netflix, generally speaking, has been unabated to the upside as this continues to go, Adair. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it when we were making the plays early on. I was like, wait a second, they have WWE now? That is always one of the top watched programs every single week, and has been like that for 40 years. Monday Night Raw is the most watched show, was the most watched show on cable for 35 years running, and that was happening every Monday night. Then they brought down SmackDown and so on and so forth. And then Netflix paid, I think, $5 billion or something to the right to stream everything pretty much related to WWE, but that was earlier on, and it's just upside, upside, upside. But today, they pull back really on not much news from what we could see, but it did drift lower for most of the session. So there's a pullback in Netflix today on not much news. Palantir, again, similar pullbacks that's been happening again on not much. I think this is just profit taking here. First month of the year, Palantir was your number one trade for the year, up 80% year to date for Palantir, the number one name in both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, up 80% year to date on Palantir, giving now back, that was 145, back down into 130, so $15 pretty clean on a pullback. That started on Friday when we saw a very, very big pullback. Maybe we have to go back into a larger time frame here to see. We had a big imbalance on Palantir right here. Whoops. On Friday, that brought this thing down $9, more than that. Yeah, $9 right there in the last 10 minutes of trade, but that was followed by another huge drop into today, right back into this area. We'll see if Palantir can hold 130. And again, there was some talk about more contracts for Palantir and whatnot. I'm wondering if this is a little bit of Doge coming out here, just worried that, hey, with government contracts potentially being cut, maybe Palantir gets some of that. Big Bear AI did not have the Big Bear AI type of day that I was looking for. Down only 2%. We'll take that after being up so much yesterday. But again, that 720 area seems to have been some kind of a wall there on Big Bear AI. No news. We wait for news to come from BBAI. Their report, though, August the 12th. And looky at this. 32% short float. The last time we checked on Big Bear AI, it was 29%. So the short float getting a little bit bigger right now. I want to thank everybody for staying late with us. We do have Brian Shannon coming through. Over 3,400 of you staying with us right now. So we want to definitely give a big shout out to you. Uranium ETF, again, like one of the hotter names running into the second half of the year. So I could see a little bit of a slowdown as, again, selling into the second half. Uranium has been super hot. We are getting a little bit of a pullback now in the URA ETF, led today by, I looked at SMR. SMR, unfortunately, this is about my average price. I think we sold around 38. We got some out at 36, some out at 41 and change, giving us an average price of around 38. But I think SMR pulls back into this area around $30. And NewScale, a name that we talked about with Brian and many of the traders on this show. I was long down here on these kind of a break, right into there, came back upside. Nice move down there. Good tariff low of $12. Almost goes up 4x, up to $44 again there from that low. So uranium names stay pretty hot. Oklo, though, was a big one, a fan favorite there. Oklo definitely pulling back in as well. So watch out for some of the uranium plays as we go. I didn't get a chance to look at the DXY today, but we can have a look at the dollar index in just a couple of seconds to see what that was doing. I don't know if you have that, Adara, but yeah, it's just on TradingView as DXY. Yeah. Just call it up, it's there. These are some of the names that we were looking at today, though, just as a broader market look, just as individual names and just look as a broader spectrum. So we talked about Tesla being down 5 1/3% today. So that's kind of bad, and we talked about why. But I think that there's just a lot of pullback in some names that have been heated over the last couple weeks. As we head into the second half of the year, you can see NVIDIA down that 3% today. Apple, nice upside surprise. We traded Apple really well yesterday off of very similar calls of AI, right? And it was that, are they having that deal with Perplexity or Anthropic? Are they fixing Siri? What's exactly going on with Apple? We like that play. Put some money to work, Apple, and let's get going and get that LLM on board so that when you release that new phone in September, you actually give people reasons to buy. We were sort of fooled about the iPhone 16. It was told that if you had a 16 or a 16 Pro or a 15 Pro, then you get Apple Intelligence. Well, what the hell is Apple Intelligence? So until that sort of starts to breathe a little bit, I think Apple in the penalty box, which is a statement from our next guest. I think Apple still needs to have worked through a few things and get going. But I do like the fact that we held $200 there on Apple. Now that I'm talking about it, I do want to look at the chart just really quickly for Apple. So here's the hold. Now, it didn't really hold 200. We had dipped down in before, but the 50-period moving average is here. And as you look to play catch-up as the Nasdaq's at all-time highs, I mean, give or take a couple points, Apple, if it's going to work, that's part of the Nasdaq getting back to those highs, right? So it's been at highs without Apple. Imagine if Apple starts to work right now. I think there's some good forward push there potentially for Apple. So, okay, yep, Brian is ready. We're going to call on him in just a couple of seconds. I just want to look at a few more names quickly before we go. Netflix, we talked about that, down 3%. So a lot of the big heavy lifters, including Meta, Broadcom right here, NVIDIA, Softies at all-time highs, Meta, a lot of these plays pulling Palantir, IBM, a name that I liked. A lot of these names pulling the Nasdaq back in. And now that I actually take a broader look at all of this, I guess it was Apple holding everything up because the Nasdaq was only down 0.9. Right? When you had NVIDIA down 2.5, Tesla down 5.5, Broadcom down 3, Meta down 2.5, Microsoft down 1.5. Very surprised how well the Nasdaq held up. You know what? Let me go ask somebody about this. It's Brian Shannon. It's Trader Talk. Oh, Mr. Shannon, another week has come and gone, and we welcome you back to Trader TV Live. How are you doing?
Doing good, Sean. How's your day?
My day was fantastic. We actually went 4 for 4. We had some pretty great trades. I had a great trade that I tagged you in on Robinhood off of VWAP at the end of the day. That was a good trade. Everybody was saying, where's the trade? So I scanned, I found one. We definitely liked that Robinhood. And then we played Apple Strength off the open. That was a pretty interesting day for Apple yesterday. And I actually wanted to lead with that, Brian. How was your day, by the way?
Good. You know what? A big surprise. General Motors was a great one for me, and I called it out on Twitter there, and the stock had a really nice day. So I had some calls in there and added some stock, so that was nice. Apple, though, yeah, that was, I was kind of trying to day trade that a little bit this morning and did okay with it, but it didn't do. I thought we were going to see bigger follow through with that one today.
Yeah, I got my trade was we were long off that 207 area, and then I actually went long with a 210 break, but then once that failed, we had some proper risk management, and got out at 209.75. So we only wound up losing just a couple quarters on that one. But what do you think about Apple? Yesterday we did get that news again, and this is probably why you're looking at it late in the day. And if you come over to my screen here, Fabian, there's that Apple push off of 200. We actually had almost this whole move, which created a pretty good day for us yesterday when I heard that come through. And there's the follow through. But when I'm looking at a daily chart right now, we are still well away from the 200 period. And Brian, if I drop an anchor right here at this most recent high, we still got to get over to 215 or so area. Is that where we're looking for maybe the run to stall out, which actually coincides with a nice little top there? Any thoughts on Apple? To me, it's starting to look a little bullish, holding 200, holding the 50 period moving average, but 2 days does not make a trend. So what do you think about Apple here? Can we have some more upside in this name?
Yeah, Sean, it's really been in a big range of 195 to 215, as you said, and we're breaking past the midpoint of that range. And I think that, that level is once again an area of interest, because here you can see on this daily chart, that thick blue line is the year-to-date anchored volume weighted average price as well. So that 215, I think you're dead on with that in terms of where it might stall out. This was today's action, and you saw, of course, in the afternoon, we were stuck below that VWAP. It seemed like there was a seller there. Tomorrow, maybe getting above this level with a stop under here could, start a move that could continue up towards that 215 level. So that's what I'd be looking for, is kind of a break of this little range right here.
Any thoughts, Brian, about a shortened week at all? Because I was noticing kind of the same thing you were there in the afternoon. A lot of just kind of sideways movement until, of course, Trump started talking. I mean, that's always going to create some kind of action. But let's just pretend Donald Trump went to Mar-a-Lago and we didn't see him for the next 3 or 4 days, or 2 days, I guess. What's your experience here heading into shortened weeks? Do we want to have tighter stops, or maybe even wider stops, let things try to work out a little bit more? Or do we just maybe trade light to begin with on these kind of weeks?
I think it's trade light, but if you can find a good setup with a low risk, tight stop, then, in a liquid name like Apple, that might be a great way to make some coin ahead of the holiday. It's actually, Sean, a day and a half. We close at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, which I just learned yesterday. So that is, my strategy. And I kind of thought that we would see a little bit more action. We often see some of the little crazy names go a little bit, crazier during these times. Stocks like SoundHound, BBAI, we've been talking about recently a little bit, you and I. So those types of names often pre-holiday type trade will get going pretty quickly, because there's maybe not a big hedge fund on the other end of it trying to hold it back and that sort of thing, because their big traders are off for the week.
Right.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for being here with us today. With it being now the second half of 2025, today we noticed some names that were really, really strong in the first half of the year, like Palantir, Netflix, pretty weak. Then we had UNH actually rallying on what seemed to be no news. So do you have any thoughts on UNH here? And in general, do you kind of have any thoughts on this, I guess, transition and shift in the second half of the year?
Yeah, I think it could probably be, Adara, that, just a little bit of, the people did well with those stocks in the first half. Maybe take their foot off the gas a little bit, let them settle back down, and then reaccumulate lower. UNH has been, the key in here and it's been holding the anchor from this gap right here. And now it's, moving a little bit. But I just look at this as a broken stock that I really don't have any interest in trading it. So we've got that declining 50-day moving average just overhead at about 340. So if I was, looking at this stock, I would look at 340 as a similar level to Apple at 215, meaning it might stall out up in there.
Okay, thanks, Brian, for all that. Yeah, UNH, what a great call. I know Neil's long around that $300 mark, so that might be a great,
nice.
That might be a great area to get long. So another trader that we have, I think you've talked to him before. His name's Obi. He's right there on our screen right now. I'm going to throw it to him. He has a question to you about Circle, CRCL. Obi, go ahead.
Hey, Brian Shannon, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So I saw your post a few days ago. You were pointing out on Circle. So I kind of pulled up the chart on Circle, and I was like, okay, I also have that anchored VWAP coming in off of the IPO price, and that's that purple one down here. And you can see that it kind of came into it. We're kind of consolidating onto it. So my question to you was, because I know you've seen a lot of anchored VWAPs, and you've seen how price action has interacted with them over the years. Like, what do you see over here? What do you see happening? And maybe what are your thoughts on maybe the higher probability iterations of price action that can come off of this range or consolidation that we're getting here off of the IPO anchored VWAP? Thank you.
It's holding in this general area, as you know, but it's not doing anything really conclusive in here. I traded it. I bought some Friday, held it over the weekend, and sold it on Monday. And I've been looking at it during the day, but really haven't been too interested in day trading it for whatever reason. It's had decent ranges, but I view it as kind of choppy in here on this 2-minute chart. It's just kind of back and forth all over the place. Although it did have, just looking at it here, it had a couple nice bounces off of daily VWAP. I think that you're likely, as you had, to see the anchor off the high, is that maybe we get a squeeze up into there, and then we start to settle down and take the next move. But certainly this, if it were to go back below the low of this week, then you've got to move to the sidelines, because this thing could come down a lot harder very quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Is that how you're looking at it?
Yeah, I think so. I think the range, obviously, the range highs and lows are going to be important to me. I'll like it for potentially the push intraday if we do get past some of those highs. But yeah, bigger picture, I do see that we are a little bit backside on the move. And again, a little following people on the Twitterverse, I know a lot of players are in their swing shorts as well off of those 300 highs. But yeah, that low is definitely very important to me as well. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would have covered, if I was short up near that 290, 300, I certainly would have covered down near that IPO VWAP. And that's why you often see that there are buyers there. There are the shorts that look at that and say, that's a logical place that buyers might emerge, so I'm going to start to peel some of my shorts off as well.
All right, thank you, Obi and Brian, for that talk there on Circle. Obi was asking it to me in the middle of the day, and he was like, make sure to ask Brian this. I said, you just ask him yourself. So there you go. So thanks, Obi, for that. And thanks for taking the time to do that, Brian. It's funny that you talked about anchored VWAPs on an IPO name. And the one I wanted to call up, because we'd sort of gone through your Twitter there to try to ask you some questions on Chime, CHYM, and you had talked about the anchored VWAP, and I have it right here. I know you probably have a much cleaner chart than this, but this is pretty simple. It's only been around here. This is a daily chart. It's only been around 15 days or something. But there's Chime right there. Here's the anchored VWAP, and a nice bounce off 34 downside there off of that 34.50. What I wanted to ask you was, sure, that's great here for some kind of resistance, but what about when we break that? I mean, there's a lot of traders that are looking for some of these names to really start to go hard to the upside instead of the other way around. Does this become that penalty box moment where we'd like to see a few days above this anchored VWAP before we can actually go long? Or is this something right now that if we can hold this 32 area where we've sort of been to in the past, does Chime then, maybe we play the break and we see going long here around 34.50 using 32 maybe as our stop? I think that's reasonable. Give ourselves $2 to $3 worth of stop to potentially get a breakout in a name like Chime. I mean, we've seen Robinhood and some of these other names really start to go hard. This is another financial name, especially SoFi is near the highs as well. What do you think about that kind of a play, and what's your thoughts here on CHYM?
Yeah, so this is one I had traded yesterday up to that VWAP. That was kind of, so I bought it early in the morning and got a very nice trade up towards that. I didn't sell it right at that anchor, but sold it mostly in there and had a really nice trade in that. And that was basically, what I thought the market had the ability to give us on this move. Now, Sean, I think you're absolutely right. And you could even look at this and say, is that a shoulder? This is a big head. Or maybe it's creating an inverse head and shoulder that we rally up towards this level, build some energy, and then push past it. I'd love to see that. I think that's the more likely scenario for this stock. If it fails at this 31.5, 32 level though, then it's going to take some rebuilding, and maybe that will be a couple weeks away. But I've got my eye on it for just what you described there, Sean.
Yeah, check out also, we're looking here, I'm long Webull as well, and I think this is a name that, we've really liked here on the show, and, trying to get back above here. I mean, the VWAP rate here is kind of out of whack because we had this huge move upside. But I really like the $11 mark on Webull as well. So a couple of us been posting about our long positions. It was just the other day. So there goes Webull upside there as well. What about a SoFi? There's a lot of traders that are looking at this on the daily chart. SoFi's had a huge move up recently and just came right back into its, I guess, yearly high. It's not the all-time high because it was kind of going crazy when it first IPO'd, but SoFi looks pretty good here as well, I'd say. Again, Robinhood with yesterday, their crypto moment. If you could choose one or the other, Robinhood's already had this huge move. It's basically a triple from its tariff lows. So I don't know if we necessarily want to be buying that one, but SoFi rate here is only a double from its from its tariff lows there back in April. But if we could play Would You Rather, does SoFi or Robinhood look better to you, or maybe it's neither?
I would probably rather get involved in SoFi, Sean, but probably not till next week sometime. I considered shorting it yesterday because it had broken out. And a lot of times, people chase these breakouts, but the stock had just run from $14 up to $18 per share to break out. And it's pulling back. So I think if we were to see it settle down, maybe for, 5-6 days in here, build a little bit of a base, and then be able to continue to move higher. I like SoFi and that SOFX. There is a double for this one as well. So when you have those symbols on there, that's what I'm showing is SOFX is the 2 times for. So basically, it's being at the same price. It's just a clean double play.
Do you often do that? You trade the levered symbol, like the 2 times or the 3 times, like there's TSLL, TSL something else, all those PLTX, I think is another one as well.
PLTU, PLTX, yeah, I do like them. They're just, I don't know, for some reason I like trading a lower price name often, so it gives me more flexibility in getting out. If I buy 5,000 shares of this versus 500 shares, then I've got, I don't feel like a piker, selling 50 shares at a time.
Right, I get it. But at the same time, percentages wise, probably, the chart should look relatively similar on that one. All right, I've been calling sort of a top, uranium stocks. There's Oklo, OKLO, there's SMR, there's the uranium ETF. And it just goes back to that question that Adara sort of had mentioned to you there about how things have been so hot in the first half of the year. Wonder if there's a little bit of a cooling down period right now. So some of these uranium plays, especially now with some tensions relieved, hopefully a little bit anyways, in the Middle East. What about a play like URA? I know NewScale, you and I have talked about this many a time, and that's really been blasting up. But right now, to me, this all looks like we're just coming back in right now. I don't know if there's an avalanche about to happen here or what, but some of these names, we still have a negative EPS on SMR, NewScale. I'm not sure they even deserve, right now it's a $5 billion valuation, let alone up here at $7 billion. What do you think about SMR or any of these plays? There's a bunch of them in the nuclear space. Is there anything that you're looking at, NNE maybe, Nether One Nanonuclear, or uranium, the URA ETF, anything like that? Because I'm thinking that we're going down on these names.
I agree, Sean. They got a little overdone to the upside in here, a lot of hype, and that's fine. Just, they're great trading names on the way up. A stock like SMR, it's got an 11% average daily range, so it's a dangerous stock, and it seems to be that we're getting lower highs and more frequent tests of support. That typically will lead to a breakdown. I mean, I'd love to see it come down all the way to the anchor from the April low, and by that time, that's where we would also meet up with this 50-day moving average. So coming down to $30 or 20% lower is a 2-day move in this stock based on its average true range.
Great call. You already talked about it earlier. We got to let you go soon. It's Canada Day, so Adair and I are going to go home and celebrate.
I wanted to ask you, what is Canada Day? I saw that on my calendar.
Yeah, same thing. Just independence. It's okay. Just our national holiday there, celebrating. I think 140 years or something.
58.
How much?
158.
158. That's how old we are here in Canada, celebrating that holiday there from the British. So yeah, we're our own independence kind of day happening right now. Canada Day coming through. So it's a holiday. All the Canadian markets are closed and whatnot. Most people don't work except for us here at Trader TV Live, of course. But we're out on July 4th, so we're out here. What is a tradition in the Shannon household for July 4th? Is there anything going on?
Probably go for a hike, Sean. Get outside into nature, and then cook something on the grill and just chill.
You got a barbecue out. But I want to talk about a great call there on General Motors trying to break out. Is there anything else that looks like it may be possibly breaking out on your screeners as well that we can have a look for tomorrow or maybe the next day as the markets potentially have lower volume? But there's your GM call that we just had. I think that was great as you posted on X earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think Apple's a good one for tomorrow, like we discussed. If you look at that on that shorter term, what was I looking at, a 2-minute time frame or 5-minute time frame, getting back above this little range right here, you could probably get a tight stop right here. If it starts to get moving, get your stop up underneath one of these higher lows. So nice compression of energy in there today. Other than that, let's see, I guess, what's interesting, Sean, is Intel kind of,
what's up with that?
We spoke about, of course, that much longer term anchored VWAP that goes back to 1980, whatever it is, that we're still, kind of toying with here. And then down to the weekly time frame, we're back above all these moving averages, and the 200-day moving average is finally rising. So you go down to a 15-minute time frame, and we're starting to see a little bit of range compression in here. This might be a similar type of move. Buy above here, stop under there, it gets moving, raise your stop up under here. At this point, I'd say just for, probably a day trade or maybe hold it over to the third. But those look interesting to me.
He is your Stock Twits Educator of the Year. He is the author of his second book, Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. It's Brian Shannon. Go follow this guy at Alpha Trends. Again, of course, a great follow both on Stock Twits which I still haven't been on, and on X. So shout out to you, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us here on, what day is it?
Canada Day.
That's right. You're live on Canada Day on a Canadian stock trading show. So thank you so much, Brian Shannon, for coming through here. Enjoy the barbecue. Enjoy everything. Enjoy the hike. And be safe and be well. And we'll catch you next week here. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao. That's Brian Shannon, one of the best around. We want to thank him for coming through again one more time. But I'm going to get right into this real quick because I don't want to keep it there. I don't want Obi still here. Obi, great question as well for Brian. Thank you so much for staying late for that one. Obi, always doing the best. This guy is the best, actually. All right, so there we go. It's going to be roll call. Who stayed late with us? There's Obi. Who stayed late with us? Let's just go and find out. Mike P. the Rider. This guy's always riding with us. So what's up, Mike? Thank you so much for joining us again as well. Fedora's here. Monty's here. Tia always here as well. Thank you so much. Michelle Meir here always says what's up. Brent is here. Thank you so much. Sebastian's here. Darwin's here. Why not? Joe Paul is here. John is here. Brown Lightning is here. You always run away when you see Brown Lightning. It should be like something other than Brown. Right there. Marcus Steven Johnson, thank you so much for your contribution as well. David Tretiak, I saw this gifted membership. So thank you so much for that one as well. Wall Street only, Susie Fox. DJ 2 a.m. The best times in the day are 2 a.m. Probably not, but that's a good one. What's up, Scott, as well? Bright Awakening, Alan Neal, A Liar Made Home Prices, Aaron Hernandez, The Tranquil, Tia, and everything else as well. Thank you so much to everybody for staying late with us. Okay, Adara, thank you so much for staying late. We sort of went over what everybody had for lunch. I know they were having some sushi there. I had a salad. Obi had a brisket burger. This is what you had for lunch. You remember?
Yeah, Aviva.
Aviva.
That
the
place.
salad. Yeah, but it's a very good place. Was it a salad?
Pancake.
Oh, those pancakes. Ooh, I like those pancakes. What were they? Strawberry, blueberry, banana, chocolate?
Strawberry. It was just like a fruit situation.
Okay.
Then I got some meat on them as well because protein. Yeah, it was a vibe. It happened.
Nice. The great little spot right by our office. From everybody here, thank you so much. Happy Canada Day to all, and I hope that we were able to entertain all of you on your day off, and thank you for spending some of it here with us at Trader TV Live. A big shout out to Obi again. Of course, big shout out to Jeff Mendel, Money, Mitch was here earlier from Trade the Pool, Brian Shannon there from Alpha Trends as well. So thank you so much for coming through, everybody. Fabian for staying late, and Adara, thank you so much for everything. Sharif, Joe as well, and Brendo. Ramin. I'm going to forget somebody, so I'm going to stop. Thank you so much for, I think I got everybody though. Thank you so much for staying late with us. Tomorrow's another day. It's 8:30. We're back then. So until then, from Adara, I'm Sean. Ciao. You found the best trading show on the planet. So what are you going to do now? Simple. Hit the like, subscribe, and share it. It's Trader TV Live. We're here, baby.